Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to say a happy Thanksgiving there to everybody, even the ones that don't celebrate it. Celebrate it there. I know Canada had their Thanksgiving a while ago. A couple weeks ago, they had the bonfire night here in England. Hey there, PvP. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. I got an extra day off this week because one of my guys didn't want me making calls this week because he figured it'd be pointless. So
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah, so that's all right. Yeah, I don't mind getting an extra day off. That's always nice. Of course, I'll make up for it and do an extra 5 hours next week. So next week will be more work, but it'll all be balanced out, I suppose.
Yeah,
So so how are you? You got all your turkey dinner, everything ready to go,
yeah,
or?
good. And hey there, Germ. How's it going? Yeah, I'm eating it right now. Actually.
Oh, hey Jim. Hey Jim.
Hey Jim, how's it going?
I was wondering if anybody would show up in the chat today due to the holiday, but it looks like we got a few people entering fairly early, so
Well,
that's
I
good.
asked a bunch of people to come over. I got
Oh,
three.
great.
I got three. Go fuck yourselves too. I gotta work. He's gonna the kids. He's coming over to my place for supper. Another one
Uh-huh.
is I already got plans. Already got plans. We already ordered our dinner like 2 weeks ago. Then another
Mm.
one. You can come pick her up about 6:30. Well, my dinner's already cooked by then. But
Yeah, so it sounds well, just like I figured people pretty much have made their plans in advance of this day, I would guess. So
okay, and Jim says hello, and Germ says be home in about an hour. If you're still on, I'll join. Okay, well you drive safe there, Germ. I know how that traffic can be. Yeah,
yeah,
did you?
hopefully on a holiday the traffic might be a bit lighter, but you
Yeah.
never know, I
Oh,
guess.
oh hell no! I threw my
No?
GPS out the window 6 years ago, or no, it had to be closer to the 10 years ago.
Really?
This is the first time I was. This is a little bit after my parents moved and all that,
Uh-huh.
or up to the cities,
Right.
and it's the first time driving up there by myself, so I was using GPS.
Uh-huh.
Well, it took me down 494 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon the day before Thanksgiving.
That's probably a bad idea.
Fuck you.
Yeah, day before is not a good time to travel anywhere.
Yeah, especially up there in Niagara right now.
You do better off today because a lot of people will already be basically, at home somewhere having their getting their dinner ready
Yeah, but
than
some people
traveling.
might be driving back to go
Oh yeah,
Black Friday shopping.
some people will be. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But hey, especially like in Niagara, right? What happened there?
You got really busy. Why did something
Well,
happen?
no bomb or there's about six. There's about 10,000 stories spread by about 3,000 people, but there's some kind of explosion on the Rainbow Bridge.
Really? I didn't hear about that. Yikes.
People are
That
calling it
sounds.
a terrorist attack. Some of them just called it a car fire,
Did
and
that
some
just
people
happen recently, today, or
yesterday. Yep.
yesterday? Wow, I never pay much attention to news anymore, so I missed that. Wow, that's doesn't sound good at all. Wow, that sounds scary. Jeez.
Yeah, I thought it'd be on your Canadian news since it was
Oh, it,
on the border.
it probably is, but I don't put the news on anymore because the news channels, I don't know, I find they've just gotten so political. There's so much woke stuff on them now that I can't hack watching that stuff. So I just basically, I don't know. The news is so depressing most of the time anyway. I just kind of choose to ignore it because,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
besides, I can't do anything about it. I have no control over that stuff. So I figure there's no need to really worry about it because, I'm sure the authorities will investigate and figure out, what exactly happened eventually.
Or what they want us to tell us.
Well, yeah, they probably never tell us everything, that's for sure.
Yeah, and welcome, Germ says, completely empty. Well, that's good. And welcome, Captain Phantom Nerd. How are you doing? Yeah,
Hey,
it's been a
Captain
bit since
Fandom.
I've been able to actually talk to you. If you want, I got the link up there, with three people in the chat. I should probably link or post or
Pin it.
pin the link.
Yeah, just pin it to the top. Hmm.
Yeah, so I made a Cajun turkey today.
So what's a Cajun turkey as opposed to a regular turkey?
I had Cajun seasoning, so I put it on there.
Oh,
I was gonna smoke it, but I was like, it's a little windy. Plus, my neighbors probably have their windows open because they like to have them open when it's 30 damn degrees. I was like, I didn't want to deal with that headache today.
hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a good plan, especially with that wind. You never know when you might start getting high wind gusts or something.
Well,
So,
well, that wouldn't be the problem, but the problem is with it being this temperature and with that wind, I'd be burning through pellets like there's no tomorrow.
okay. Oh well, sometimes it's just as easy to just put it and do it the old-fashioned way and put it in the oven, right?
Yeah.
So you put Cajun spice what in the stuffing when you stuff the turkey? Is that what
No,
you?
I just put it on top
Oh, on
on
top.
the
Oh,
skin.
okay. Hmm.
Then I use liquid smoke.
Okay, so it's like a turkey rub kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I haven't put stuffing actually in the turkey. I didn't even think about that.
Hmm. I always like to put stuffing in the turkey because I like to, mix up a really lot. Like I like to put, you got the bread, of course. You got your onions. You got your mushrooms. Maybe a little bit of garlic, some poultry seasoning. A little bit of olive oil just to mix it all together really nice.
I just get the box stuffing. Stuffing is a
Yeah,
lot easier.
I know a lot
Plus,
of people do. Yeah.
I don't like the mushrooms and stuff. I can't
Okay.
have onions and stuff.
Oh wow,
But
then that would be a pretty boring stuffing then. If
well,
it
I
was
can't
just
eat
bread.
onions there because I'm the one that has to clean the bathroom.
Oh, you got an allergy or something to onions?
Or it's either an allergy or my stomach just absolutely hates them.
Hmm. Just one of those foods, eh? Hmm. Gosh. Oh well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you know it doesn't agree with you, then there's no point in eating the stuff, obviously.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm pretty lucky that way. I seem to have a cast iron stomach for most things, except spicy food. I can't eat spicy food. I just never had a taste for it. If I eat something really spicy, I'm going to pay for it. My stomach's going to give me indigestion probably for hours and hours and hours. So I just avoid the stuff.
Yeah. And oh, Germ, have you picked a movie for Saturday? If I'm able to do the review. If not, we'll do your choice next Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, because we got Don's funeral on Saturday, so
So Dawn is an uncle or something you said,
uh,
or
uh it'd be my brother-in-law's grandpa.
oh, okay. So Dawn was an older gentleman then.
Uh, born in '42.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I guess that's a fair number of years. Yeah, that's what, like around 80 something years, 81 years, something like that.
Yeah, about 81, 82.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's better than some people. Some people don't last that long, Oh man, it's always sad though, of course, going to a funeral. I've been to way too many in
Yeah,
my lifetime. Haven't been to one in a long time because pretty well most of my family's gone, some years ago. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about too often anymore. So
yeah,
that's why it's nice to come pop on here because I mean, to me, even if it was Thanksgiving here today, which it's not, when I celebrate Thanksgiving in October, it's just another day basically because I don't have any family to get together with. I mean, there's my cousin and his wife, and they live, pretty close by, like, maybe 10-minute drive from here. But we never get together at Thanksgiving. We always wait until Christmas, right, at the end of the year to get together because it's kind of more fun to get together at Christmas with all the
oh, come
trees
on,
and
10 minutes. You can
you
make
know.
both holidays.
Yeah, but my cousin and his wife, they're usually really busy or out their way. They travel a lot, right? Because they're both, pretty much retired now. So they travel a lot and, they like to, go see the world. They just went to Japan, like, I guess it was a couple of months back for like 3.5 weeks, I think they were there. So they had quite a holiday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, my cousin, he worked in the restaurant business for many years and he, worked at Wendy's and, started out as a burger flipper and worked his way up to manager. And, then when he decided, he had had enough of that company, I guess, he probably sold what if he had stock shares or something, he probably, sold those off and then he bought a Tim Hortons franchise and had that running here for a number of years, probably for like 20 years or
What's
something.
Tim Hortons?
It's the big donut chain in Canada. Well, mainly donut. Well, it started with donuts, right? You know, donuts and coffee kind of thing. But now they branched out. They got all kinds of food now. They got soup. They got sandwiches.
So
You
it's a
know,
Krispy Kreme of Canada.
it's the Krispy Kreme of Canada. That's probably the easiest way to explain it to an American audience. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good description, actually, Grilla. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's an okay place. They got some decent food. I don't know. I never cared much for their coffee, to be honest, but I know millions of Canadians seem to love it. So you know, they're pretty busy. You know, I used to go in there for lunch when I was working when our office was open because there was one just like a 5 minute walk away from my office. So I just walk over there and I just grab a sandwich or something for lunch, and their sandwiches are actually pretty good, I gotta say. And not too expensive. You could get like a BLT or a ham and cheese, you know, good sized sandwich for like around $6 Canadian. So that's pretty reasonable actually these days.
Oh well, now with you being at home, that probably saves you quite a bit on your lunch there.
Oh, totally. And it saves me probably $1,000 a year on gas too, right? Because
That
gas,
much on
you know,
gas?
eh?
That much on gas?
Well, you figure it out. I mean, it's probably like $80 a month or something. Because if I'm driving 2 hours a week and gas is like $1.60, that's around $1.68 here, I think, right now currently. So it's not cheap, and that's for a liter, remember, not a gallon.
All right, now you're making me do the
Do the math.
yeah, dollar
It's
68
not cheap. It's probably
eight.
like seven bucks or something for a gallon. I don't know.
So $1.68 in freedom units here is holy shit.
Yeah, times it by four or whatever, right?
God, did they give you any? Did they supply you lube with every fill up?
They might as well. Yeah, I know, I know. That's why usually I'm just putting in like, you know, $10 at a time and just, you know, hoping that the price will go down. But it's been the same price now for months probably. It's been around that price. So yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
that
But
672, man, now they're not even nice enough to give you some lube. They don't even go nice and slow. They just ram it right in there for you.
that's the good old gas companies, right? They just love to hose the customers, you know. So what's
but
your
I suppose,
prices?
but I
Your
suppose that's
how
what is the
much
conversion rate though?
conversion rate? Oh, the exchange rate, you mean? Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It fluctuates every day, the exchange rate between the dollars. So, yeah, I'm not really an expert on that. But
Um,
it's definitely a lot more expensive here. So I figure, you know, roughly I'm probably saving about $1,000 a year. Because I mean that's, you know, 2 hours a week times you know, well, I guess we usually get a few weeks off of Christmas. So say, 52 weeks in a year minus two, that's like 50, 50 weeks times 2 hours a week. So that's what, that's like 100 hours of driving time. So yeah, that eats up the gas pretty good.
all right. Uh, now they're giving. Now it's giving me the damn business here.
What's giving you the
Oh,
business?
okay, so in United States dollars, you're still paying 490 a gallon, but approximately where we're right now in my area. So that's about probably about equivalent to what Washington is paying. We're right now ours just dropped down to 2.99, and if I go south of the border, it's 2.79.
That's for a gallon, 2.79 for
Yeah,
two. Wow, that's pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah,
2.79 in Iowa.
boy, that's really good. Yeah, that's a much better price. Yeah.
First time my tank's been over half a tank in a long time.
Yeah, well, geez, I wouldn't blame you. You know, I'd put a lot in it too if I could get gas that cheap. Thing is, this part of the world, like we're just above Washington State, right up here in BC, and there's something about the oil refineries in this part of the world, something about the supply which can keep the prices higher or for something. It's some I forget exactly the excuse they use, but I think it's something to do with the refineries. I think up, either here or in Washington, wherever they're located. I can't remember exactly, but I guess they're older refineries, so sometimes they have to shut them down for maintenance or something. So I don't know. Like if
Uh,
I lived in Alberta next door, my gas would probably be, a fair bit cheaper, right? Because
it
Alberta's the big,
sounds like
oil gas place.
it sounds like they're trying. They're just screwing you around, and just telling you it's just a reason. I think it's artificially high there.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think it is in a lot of places, in the country actually, because they just figure they can just, I mean, well, the thing is, if the government won't, put their foot down and, start to do, investigate these companies and their business practices, I guess they can just keep getting away with it, right? So, you know, unfortunate, but that just seems to be the way it is.
Well, it's part of the problem is the government, but that's a whole different song.
Yeah, that's a sad song. So you got no, all your family aren't there today or something?
Well, I couldn't afford the gas to go up to the cities. There, Lacey and her family's doing their own thing.
Oh
My
yeah,
other sister's working.
right.
My aunt and Cheryl, they both already ordered their dinners and stuff. There,
Mm.
my son's over at his grandma's there, and
Ah,
mom's going over there.
right.
Kids, mom is at work because she's at her grandparents there, but I'm getting her at about 6:30.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to leave here about 6.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Hmm. Oh well, I guess you'll see them later in the day. Then it sounds like.
yeah, so well, I've just been working on a project here in Minecraft.
Oh, what's that?
Digging a bit. I'm digging. Uh, I'm making a big old. Then I'm a. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to some people that in the Minecraft community I have there. I'm gonna make this like bit this gigantic glass pyramid that
Uh
has a
huh.
building inside to represent the 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 pyramid that they had in Grim Tuesday's book there. I just
Uh
got to
huh.
figure out what I want to make it out of.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be like a 50-story tall pyramid that was in there of all this stuff that Grim Tuesday collected from the secondary realms. Like he's inside like this house, which is supposed to be like the center of the universe and the create, and it's supposed to be like the create, and the secondary realms are like Earth and other planets and everything else. You can only enter the secondary realms, like come on to Earth on a Tuesday. That's why hence his name is Tuesday, because there's 7 what are they supposed to be the trustees of the so-called will or whatever for the very beginning of the creation. But anyhow, one of the thing is he's affected with greed, so he dug a huge pit to basically mine the stuff that they call nothing, and that's pretty much the building block of everything.
Huh.
Then and all he does is collect all these architects from the secondary realms and he stores them in a tower. It's a
Huh.
really good set of books. That's how I found Mr. S because I've read them probably 4 or 5 times there, but he's actually doing the audiobook series. I like how he could actually do the voices and all that. I'm not nearly good enough to do the voices.
Huh. So I mean, I've obviously heard of Minecraft, many times over the years, but I've never really investigated what it's about. It's like what is it like a dice game or it's not a video
No,
game, is it?
it's a gigantic thing where you sit there and you mine different materials and stuff, and then you can build stuff. You got beat the Ender Dragons. There's all these different mobs. Some of them hostile, some of them friendly.
But
You
is it
got,
like a board game or is it like a
oh, it's
video
on
game?
computer here. I can show you.
Computer game. Oh, okay.
Let me know if my sound starts going out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really not that familiar with it. It sounds pretty complicated actually. Sounds like a lot of detail to it.
Well, well, people complain about the graphics, but you can get graphics packs. But really, it's actually for really advanced for its size. So like I'm down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like an old school online player kind of. kind of game.
Well, it's constantly updating though. It's one of the biggest games in the world.
Yeah. So you go on and play against other people in the
Yeah,
on the online.
this is my multiplayer world. Or
Okay.
not my well, it's not my world. Jason runs it, but I it seems like I'm the only one playing it these days.
It looks pretty vacant there. Nobody around. Maybe they're all away having Thanksgiving turkey.
Well, no, I haven't seen anybody on this for months, so I stopped playing for a
That's
little while.
weird. How come that you figure there's nobody there anymore? Like
I don't know why Jason. I don't know why Jason Salty quit playing,
that's
and
just
Thomas there started playing 7 Days to Die or something like that, or whatever it's called.
never heard of that one.
No, but like you got all these different mobs. I'm obviously in a terracotta desert here. That's what that weird
Okay.
color stuff is.
Uh-huh.
Then you got like your squids, ink, or you got your. If you go over here, it's cool coral bed
Huh.
that you. But I don't have the tool to
Oh
mine
yeah.
any of it.
I see.
So better get up before I die.
So it's pretty there's quite a bit to it, obviously. It's a lot of different things in the game.
Yeah,
But it is very old school in appearance, isn't it? It looks like a really old. I
yeah.
mean, when did Minecraft start? It must have started decades ago by the looks
2012.
of it.
2012.
2012?
And this is my kelp farm. But it doesn't work very well. But I press this button, and takes all that carp out or kelp out, and I gotta. But not all of it floats down for some damn reason, so I have to go up and actually grab the pieces that are missing.
Huh.
But it's supposed to be an automatic kelp farm. There, there. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
So I take it you probably don't hang out here too often then when there's no other people to play the game with.
Well, it depends on my mood. No, no.
Mm.
And see, I got a bunch of hoppers down here. So if I go,
Hoppers.
well, I can't really. That see, all of them go into the thing, and then they move them down to this here, and it drops the stuff into the furnace there. And as long as I got fuel in the furnace, it turns the kelp into fuel.
Oh,
Dries the
okay.
kelp and turns it into fuel.
Huh.
Then it drops down into this thing right here.
Okay.
That's the
So
only
it's
machine I've actually invested in making.
okay. Huh,
Then you
interesting.
then slat then, but like you can build all kinds of things here. We got all kinds of stuff in here, and
Mm.
if I warp over to this, oops, wrong one. This was the beginning town. They kind of took over village and stuff, and we could do all kinds of things in here.
Oh yeah.
We got this will warp me like anywhere. I'm on the leaderboard for the jobs over here.
Well, I gotta say the
We
town's
got
kind of
jobs.
cool looking.
Oh, you want something cool? Okay. This takes us to the port. This was Jason and Salty's build over here. Big
So you
old
got a ship,
destroyer.
big ship. Wow,
Yeah, it's a destroyer.
cool. So I guess you have all kinds of different battles in this game if there was anybody to fight.
Well, you could, but
Yeah. So is this the only Minecraft world that you go on? Like there's no other ones with people hanging out?
yeah, I could join other servers if I really wanted to. But it's like I joined the server here to play with the guys, and then they didn't.
Hmm.
Then they
That kind of
stopped
sucks.
playing.
That kind of sucks actually that they just leave. That's
Yeah, it happens.
no good.
See, I want to
Oh
build
boy.
something like this, but I don't know how. I gotta design it and everything.
Yeah, that looks like that would take a while to build that, actually. That looks pretty complicated.
Yeah. So
Anyway, that was a nice little tour. Thank you, Gorilla.
yeah.
Now I have a better idea of what Minecraft is about.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of things. Holy crap! And welcome, Scurvy. There he goes. Happy Thanksgiving, fellas. Hey, how about you
Hey,
come on up
hi
here,
Lemon.
Scurvy? Let us hear what you sound like.
Hi
He
Lemon.
says family is at my sister's house. No fun. Are you going over there, Captain? Or he says I am relaxing. Yeah. Let's let's suppose. Did they get your was it your arm or was it your shoulder fixed that you had to have surgery on? Uh, I'm. That's one of the things I'm kind of glad I didn't. I don't have. I didn't have to deal with yet. Probably will eventually.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky that way. I've never had to have any surgery, any major surgery. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty lucky for my age.
The closest surgery I had was taking the fish hook out of my cheek because neighbor or out of my arm because the neighbors were too squeamish.
Ouch.
I
How
couldn't
did you
quite
manage
get
to
at.
hook? How did you manage to hook your arm?
Uh,
That must have been quite a maneuver.
no, I was digging through all my tackle stuff and some of
Oh,
it some of it accidentally got dumped out and was and one of them caught my arm.
I see.
So
Yeah, I
and the
imagine
neighbor
that didn't feel too good.
yeah, the neighbors were too squeamish to go pull it out for me because I couldn't quite get at it. And I get at it from where it was at.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
So how did you get it out? If the neighbors wouldn't help.
I just went up. Well, the well, I just ran up to the clinic. They snipped it. They trimmed
Ah,
it, protected it.
probably the smartest thing to do actually, because then
Cause
they could pull it out safely that way.
yeah, tough.
I
And
mean,
well,
you
if I
never
knew,
know.
I could have done it myself if I knew where my wire cutters were at the time. But
Yeah.
4 year old boy, who knows where half my tools ended up at?
Oh, I see. Right. Oh well, it ended safely anyway. So
Yeah, so
it
it's not
ended
like
better. It ended better for you than it does the fish that you catch.
yeah. Which hey, I wonder if Hadley would eat fish, huh? Because that could make up some of that bass that's in the freezer.
Yeah, you never know. I know some. I like fish. I like a good. Well, yeah, I guess fish in the oven is good, but I like fish and chips too, of course. But I
Oh,
don't eat too often because it's expensive to buy it, at the restaurant.
I fry them, but I just fry them in a pan there.
Yeah, well, I guess that works
Especially
too.
especially that way I can fry the skin right off.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't fillet worth of shit in
Oh,
there. So so what I do is I just fry off the skin.
hmm. Oh, if it works, I guess. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Though the tilapia fillets I got in the freezer there, I suppose I could try smoking them. Maybe I don't know.
Well, you could
Well,
always give it a try and see how it turns out, I guess.
yeah,
Then you'll know if it's worth the trouble or not, you know.
yeah, but the problem is, the price of tilapia is getting expensive too.
That's one fish I don't think I've ever had actually.
We can get in the stores. They're farmed fish that pretty much eat shit.
Oh, that doesn't really sound appetizing actually.
Well, they get this special like they just get fed this fish mulch crap going
Okay.
into the ponds.
Yeah.
But who knows? Just all that stuff's designed to do is make the fish nice and big, so they can sell because they sell it by the pound.
Right, so they can make more money, of course. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's why you
Yeah,
get that's why you get a lot of these cattle there. They especially put on there and go no steroids or hormone and steroid free because a lot of farmers are injecting hormones and steroids into the cattle and meat and their pigs and all that to make them bigger and fatter for market.
Yeah, you guys got that. Like, I think that's not allowed up here in Canada. I don't think they're allowed to inject steroids or hormones into our Canadian beef. I think it's illegal. So that's
Yeah,
one thing I like about living up here is I don't, if whenever I do
yeah.
have beef, which isn't that often because it's pricey.
Well, well,
Uh,
a lot of places are establishing are making sure to put that in the package because especially what was happening there for a while is there that people like some of these viruses were becoming immune and people weren't able to that are coming or they like with all the shots and stuff they're giving the cows and all that. Some of these viruses and all that became more virulent because of the shots that were in our meats and stuff.
yeah, it's never good to
That we were injecting
overuse.
them.
It's never good to overuse, stuff like that. I mean, that's the thing. They do it out of greed, to make more money, but in the long run, they probably will end up losing money because people will start to be aware of what's in their food and they'll just stop buying it, right? They'll look
Well,
for alternatives.
just welcome Nemesis of Eden.
Hey,
Hey,
Nemesis,
hey
why don't you
Nemesis, what
come on?
you're here? How
Yeah,
much is gas in
pop on.
Alberta? Well, he says popping in to say hi. I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, how much is gas in Alberta? There, we were just talking about that a little while ago. No, no, but now they're putting crickets in food, but they don't put it as crickets. Like it's called like cicuda or something like that, or cicuda.
Cicada.
No, no, cicada's a whole
That's a
different
different.
bug.
That's a different bug. Yeah. Hey, Nemesis, why don't you come join the panel for a while, man? You're always fun to chat with. And you're in Canada, so it's not the holiday for you here.
Yeah, and he goes, uh, yeah, yeah, because they're using crickets to replace animal fruit juice. But what is it? But what do they call it though?
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I think I've heard something about that, but I really don't know much about the cricket thing. Really, that's another thing. They put hormones and stuff in the milk down there too, don't they, Gorilla?
What?
Don't they put hormones or something in your milk down there?
Not necessarily. I can go get the gallon of milk, see what it says.
I heard something about that because I know up here once again they're not allowed to put anything like that in our milk supplies. So I'm always happy about that as well because I try to avoid anything like that.
Uh, yeah, I really don't want to dig through the.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I think it's called chitosan. Chitosan,
Okay.
maybe.
Huh. Well, if I don't know what it is, I'm probably not going to eat it, and I really have never heard of that word
Yeah,
before. So
do you look at every nutrition label and everything?
not really, but I usually stick pretty much to a regular stuff that I buy, so I'm pretty familiar with it. I don't usually try out new stuff. I pretty well stick to
Yeah.
the regular diet.
And Nemesis here says, viruses, what's next? Resolute germs? A germ that's your cue to come on.
That's a good one. Oh,
He says, oh,
Nemesis, he's got something about gas there too.
he says,
Gorilla.
oh, fuck, I don't know, lol. I walk or take transit. It's too much for gas here. If you have transit buses and stuff in your area, that's way too big of a town for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but we're talking like he's PvP was saying it's $1.78 a liter in his
about a
British.
about $1.68, but yeah, close enough.
Oh, so
I guess Nemesis doesn't pay attention to the signage by the gas stations
well, if
because
you
it's
don't have
pretty
to
well
worry.
posted.
But I was telling
It's
people, must be an election. Your gas prices are plummeting.
Huh. Yeah, I'm sure the gas is. Well, actually, I could just Google it when I think about it. Gas price
Yeah,
Alberta. Okay, let's look at Gas Buddy for Alberta and see what we get here. Oh yeah, it's definitely cheaper. Edmonton's around $1.18. The Esso is around $1.19 in Stony Plain, Alberta. Let's see, Spruce Grove is around $1.19. Sil- Sylvan Lake is around $1.21. So that gives you a little range of prices there. So yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
yeah,
That's what, about 50 cents less than we're paying here, 49 cents, something like
yeah.
that. So,
That's Canadian, so probably about a buck less. Well, not quite buck, but like 75 cents less
Alberta,
American.
Alberta's pretty much always got the cheapest gas in Canada because they're the oil and gas province, right? They got all the oil there, fields going. They're like
Oh, I thought
Texas,
those are up in.
basically.
I thought they're all up in the northern area,
Oh
northern
no no
territory.
no 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 no! I think they've got them all different places. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, it's not like I'm an expert on the
Yeah,
oil and gas industry, but
yeah. We got a lot of oil in Alaska there, but we're not allowed to drill for it.
really,
Yeah, because
does
you
the
need.
environment?
Not, well, uh, our current regime there is not signing gas leases.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
apparently what is basically what it is.
Hmm.
So, uh, oh, I was gonna look see what would your choice be for a movie after Germ's choice?
Oh gosh, I haven't thought about it.
All right,
Seriously, I'd have to think about that one.
you'd have
Hmm.
another because
Any,
I'm going for Jules Verne's.
so you prefer Jules Verne or something
No,
different?
no, that's just my picks. You can pick
Ah,
whatever you want to review,
okay.
just as long as they're not doing like a 3 hour movie. That's all.
You want to keep it down to around 2 hours?
Hour and a half, 2 hours would be ideal. Like we could do a 3 hour movie some Saturdays, but that's just something I'd have to plan and probably schedule it for earlier, so we're
Right.
not interfering with um with we're not interfering with the rumblings from the lab.
Yeah, right. You want to, yeah. Okay, I'm just looking at a map of Alberta here. The biggest is the Athabasca oil sands, and uh, that is further up north. It's up above Edmonton, which Edmonton's about halfway up in the province, roughly. If you look at a map, and the Athabasca oil sands, geez, they're huge actually when I look at it. And then there's Peace River oil sands to the west of those, and another smaller one looks like south of Athabasca. But yeah, those are the big main areas for oil drilling, I would guess. So yeah, it's probably about a little over halfway up, um, halfway, 2/3, in the upper part of Alberta, roughly.
Yeah, Nemesis says it's like we produce all the oil for the rest of Canada. LOL.
Well, you guys have pretty good prices there though too, so you're getting your fair share, I think, Nemesis.
I
It's
think that's where
cheaper
the
than here.
I think that's where the Keystone Pipeline was supposed to be coming from, was Alberta.
Supposed to be, yeah, it was supposed to be, yeah. And then I guess the government down in the States nixed that idea, I believe, didn't they, a few years ago?
One asshole.
Yeah, well, I don't think that our federal government was too pleased because I think
they,
they definitely wanted the pipeline to go through to bring money into Canada, right?
I think they sued for in international court.
They might have. They might have. Funny thing is, though, the international courts, even when they rule in Canada's favor, which they often do, actually, surprisingly, like every time we have like a trade war, which doesn't happen too often, Gorilla, but it has happened over the years. In the past, we've had our little trade war skirmishes back and forth, right, between Canada and U.S. But often, the tribunal will rule in Canada's favor, but then the U.S. government just goes ahead and ignores the ruling. So
Yeah.
it's not like it matters so much for the rule of law, right?
Hey, welcome, Nemesis.
And Nemesis.
Hi, Gorilla. Hi, PvP. How you guys doing?
Well, I got an extra day off today because I had a short work week because one of my agents down south did not want any calls made during the Thanksgiving week. So I didn't have to work my 4-hour shift today.
Is that
So
a good or a bad thing?
that's a good thing.
Excellent. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab more turkey.
Thing
Okay,
is,
bro.
I'll make up the 4 hours next week, so it'll be a longer week next week. So it all balances out, basically, right? So
Yeah, for sure. Fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Good
well.
old
But
work.
unfortunately, got to keep the rent money coming in, and that's one reason I'm sitting here keeping Gorilla company since she's got no family with him at the present time. Because I'm just waiting for my email to come through with my 2 weeks pay, which it hasn't come through yet. So sometimes it'll be late in the afternoon. It could be I could be sitting here for another 4 or 5 hours. I figured so because I like to check it every once in a while, right? Because I want to know the exact amount I'm going to get. So
That's fair.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, money's getting a little bit tight from the pay I had 2 weeks ago. So I got some bills to pay, and the rent's coming up in the end of the month, and all that good stuff, fun stuff. So
Oh, dude, I understand. They're cutting our hours, and they're like, "Oh, hey."
oh,
So
really?
we're like, they need, because my managers had to work a couple of double shifts against the union's rules, blah blah blah. We're not going to get into that nonsense. They're like, we might have to we need one more backup supervisor, and no one else wants it. I don't want the job because there's a bunch of responsibilities for like an additional dollars pay. It's just like, oh, I really don't want that. Or they hire a new full-time supervisor, and then everyone gets cut down to 2 days a week, and it's just like, for fuck's
Ooh,
sakes.
that's painful.
Right? So it's like, I guess I
Wow,
take one for the team.
2 days a week.
And
I don't. How can you live on that, man? Like you have a roommate or something. I'm guessing then, right?
well, I do, but like, well, no, because I was working 3 to 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week, and now to like cut it down to two, it's just like, well, I can't do
That's
that.
that's scary.
So,
I couldn't survive on two. I'd be homeless for sure.
well, no, I'd have to go. I'd have to go get another job.
Yeah, well, yeah, but something as at my age, trying to find another job ain't easy because I remember a few years ago before I got my present job, like I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when I was job hunting, I might get the occasional interview, but I'd never get a second call back because at my age, right, they just want to hire somebody 30 years younger, right? Because they don't want to train somebody that could be retiring in 5 or 10 years.
Well, it's not only that, dude. Like I'm half your age, and I struggle too. Like I send out like resume after resume into the void, and it's just it's disheartening because you have to customize and personalize everyone. Like
Yeah,
your fucking resume is fine, but I'm talking about cover letters too, right? And so it's just like, and
yeah.
then to throw it out into the void, and to maybe get an interview here or there, but and then to never hear back, or to get an email back being like, oh, sorry, we've moved on with someone else. It's thoroughly
Oh, yeah.
uh, disconcerting. And so
Oh,
Move
go
it's
ahead.
down here. I can get you
it's
guys
very
70 hours a
annoying.
week.
Yeah.
Move down
Yeah,
here.
but then I'd have to get like a work visa and shit, bro.
Just come up through the southern border. That's all. Just fly down to Mexico and
Oh,
southern border.
amazing. Okay, I see. Coming as an illegal Canadian Mexican immigrant. Perfect.
That would make your life simpler, right, Nemesis?
Oh, so yeah, it wouldn't be much easier than just finding another job here,
Well,
like, or finding a sugar mama or something.
well, just think. I mean, once you landed in a federal prison, or state prison, they'd have to feed you, so you wouldn't have to
Hey,
worry about rent anymore.
hey, they don't. They're
That's
not doing
true.
that. The AOC that they just handed out like four
Uh,
400,000 work permits for some of these illegals that came across the southern border and stuff.
really? 400,000? Gee, that seems a bit much. That's nuts.
We used to deport them. Now they're giving them work permits.
That seems kind of messed up, actually. That would never, boy, they wouldn't allow that. Wouldn't happen here, up here. Like,
What are
if
you
you want
talking
to,
about? That happens here all the time.
no, if you
Oh,
want to,
PvP.
no, if you want to emigrate, I mean, there are certain standards. People got to have a certain level of education and whatnot, right? They got to apply. I mean, I know there's illegal people that enter across the U.S. border. I'm aware of that, but still,
Illegal Americans. Yes.
well, a lot of us. Well, it was Mexicans not too many years ago crossing the Canadian border. I remember for a while there.
Yeah.
But it's always changing, I guess. Though.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Geopolitics, my favorite conversation topic.
Yeah, one of the main reasons I no longer watch the newscast because I figure it's so messed up. There's nothing I can do about it. I got my own little life to worry about. So let the big
Yeah.
boys, do the big boy stuff, and just try and I figure keep your head down and try to stay off the radar screen as much as possible. uh,
Ugh. So what are
anyway,
you? So how are you today, Nemesis?
Okay, I gotta go in for an ultrasound on my face.
What, pregnant?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, in my mouth. We're gonna not go any further into that subject, but yes.
that's an interesting coincidence because I just had a couple ultrasounds done like 3 weeks ago. Nemesis, I had one on my face too, and I got to go for a follow up. They've scheduled for it for December 4th. The letter I got, so I've got to see if I can adjust my work schedule to go in that day. Because yeah, it's a fun follow up, and actually, I'm getting a phone call from one of the doctors tomorrow morning. They're going to do like a little phone call meeting with me and explain what they noticed on the scans, which is weird because my regular doctor isn't really that concerned, right? Because I've had this condition for like 30 years and it's never caused me any real problems. So my regular doctor says it's probably nothing to worry about, and this other doctor seems to think it might be. So, what do you
Well,
do, right?
as not get a you're getting a second opinion at the very least. So
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, I'll go in and get another scan done and just follow it up. But yeah, it seems like I'm guessing it's probably not going to be anything too too critically, important. But anyway, I'll wait and see what the doctor says tomorrow when she calls. So, oh yeah, fun, fun, fun,
indeed.
and it gets even better as you age. Oh man, I tell you.
I haven't been to the doctor in years.
Well, it comes to that certain point where I kind of like to have a checkup a few years because at my age it starts to get to the point where you might start having think. Well, let's put it this way: a coworker lost a relative recently to cancer, and it was quite sudden. Like they were diagnosed and had surgery like a month later, and like a month or two after that they were gone. So you got to really stay on top of your health. I think, at least that's my opinion. You know.
Oh,
So I don't mind going in for the occasional, blood test and all that good fun stuff, every once in a while.
yeah.
Just to know that I'm fairly healthy. That's peace of mind, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I just can't afford. I just can't afford it.
Yeah, that's the
Going there
thing.
for pickups.
See, that's the thing. I don't pay anything when I go and get all this basic stuff done. Our basic health care is all covered through the taxes, I guess, that we pay every year. Um, so yeah, I never
No,
worry about it.
I wouldn't mind that having like universal basic, like for checkups and broken bones and all that.
Yeah, we
But,
got basic,
but then
yeah.
if you get the if you get the really harder, lesser stuff, then you have to have supplemental secondary insurance to
Well,
substitute for
there
because
are
like
there are private clinics here that would charge you a fee for their services. They do seem to, find a way to operate, even though I don't think the government really loves it. They kind of tolerate it. So you could sort of jump the queue, so to speak, if you have money in the bank. Um, but I think most things would be covered, like like cancer. My mom had surgery, and she didn't pay anything. And if you had a heart attack, they're going to obviously take you to emergency and restart you. So,
uh,
you know, Anyway, I'm not a total expert on the healthcare system by any means, so
Yeah.
I just know from personal experience what I've experienced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hmm.
Well, depending on what show I should start watching again.
Oh, TV series?
Yeah, TV series.
Oh, you're done. What? Well, you're finished Babylon 5, right?
Yeah.
And you're almost done with Justified.
Oh, we're in season 3 there. If you haven't seen Justified, you should check it out.
I should, but it's a little too late. Otherwise, I would have joined your stream long ago. But I
No,
realized you
well,
were
you
like,
can watch it on your own.
oh yeah, yeah. Whenever I find that extra hour, yeah, I guess I could do that. Seems to always find a way to waste my time enough
Well,
already, though.
or even have it on in the background there, like
Yeah.
before you go to bed. Like,
Oh, Justified, is that like is that the Western thing, or have I got that
no,
mixed up?
now there was a Western movie called Justified, but this one here follows U.S. Marshal Raylan Gibbons, and
Okay.
you're basically in what's the politically correct term for cousin humper territory?
Well, I don't know what the polite term is, but I think you just hit on the unpolite term.
It's backwoods Kentucky.
Oh no! Sorry to anybody from Kentucky that watches this stream and the rewatch.
Side note,
I'm
gorilla.
shocked and appalled, guys. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Welcome
yeah,
to the wonderful world of Gorilla live streams.
yeah. Disclaimer: Gorilla doesn't believe all Kentuckians are cousin humpers, but in the show it depicts a bunch in the backwoods in the hills of Kentucky
my.
that they seem to be.
Oh, is it like Deliverance or something? That
Oh no, I
movie?
never seen Deliverance.
Oh, that's a great movie. Burt Reynolds is really good in that, and that's a really scary movie.
Oh,
Actually,
it's a Burt Reynolds movie.
yeah, Burt
Oh, maybe
Reynolds back in the early '70s. He's in prime condition then, like prime shape.
maybe
He's
we'll
great in
cover it.
that.
Maybe we'll cover it on a Sunday or a Saturday.
Actually, Deliverance might be one to put on the list. I'm going to just take a look and see how long that movie is because I think it's around 2 hours maybe.
Oh, let's see who's faster.
It's pretty good. It's got a good cast too. Yeah, 1972. Yeah, it's pretty vintage film. Gee, that's what 50 years now, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, there's some pretty iconic scenes from that movie, Gorilla. You're really going to enjoy it.
Oh
Certainly.
yeah, it's got
My
a great.
Yeah.
titties.
Yeah, it's only 109 minutes, so it's well under your watch time.
oh yeah.
And it's a really good.
Even if it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes, I wouldn't mind that. And welcome,
Yeah.
Pop Culture. Welcome. How's it going?
Oh, hi, Pop.
Yeah.
Hey, Pop. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Pop. If you want to come on the panel and chat with us, that'd be awesome, man.
Well,
Yeah, pop on and give us your perspective, Pop.
Yeah, come on, Pop on, Pop.
yeah. And you know what? Talking Burt Reynolds there, you think
Yeah.
with the title called The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, it'd have a lot more titties in it than it did.
Yeah, well, yes, that's Hollywood for you. Eh?
That's
They're thoroughly disappointing.
Yeah, Hollywood don't do titties all the time.
Oh, Nemesis, do you have a gift and go? I didn't know.
Hmm? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pop set that up for me. Yeah. If anyone feels like donating, I guess. Certainly we've got other people like Suzanne and whatnot who needs to be taken care of first. But if there is excess cash or whatever that you want to give, there's the give send go for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I just want to mention Deliverance cast. It's got John Voight, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, Ronnie Cox. Good cast. Academy Award nominations, Golden Globe nominations. Yeah, it's a really good one. And directed by John Borman, which is the same guy who did films like Zardoz and Excalibur. So, good director.
The awards mean nothing to me when they give the episode Threshold an Emmy.
Well, no, but you know what I mean. Back in the early '70s, those awards kind of actually still meant something because they were actually giving awards to good films still. Whereas now they'll give an award to, if the film is like politically correct, it could be the worst
Yeah.
movie in the world, but it'll win Best Picture or
No,
something.
the threshold for Voyager in the '90s there got an Emmy, and welcome, Pop.
Hey, Pop,
Hello, guys. Good to see you. I only have a few minutes,
Hi.
but I
nice to
stopped.
see you.
Hey, Nemesis. Hey, PvP. Hello, Gorilla. I only have a few minutes, but I thought I'd stop in and say hello.
Okay.
It's not that I'm doing fun stuff. My roommate's with his family, so this is my opportunity to try to get in and do some dishes so I can cook today and eat something.
Oh,
I
good
usually,
plan.
yeah, it's usually hard to get into the kitchen, but since he's out today, I figured now's the time to take advantage. So I'll do some dishes and I'll do some laundry and all that stuff that it's kind of hard to usually get to.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Get done what you can. Make yourself some
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can keep upstairs.
get that important stuff done while the roommate's out of the way for the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make something for dinner tonight. I haven't cooked in a long. I don't remember the last time. So if I have a way to get to the sink and stuff like that, I could cook for it. So I'm not going to waste my day. Obviously, I just got off the phone having to argue with Amazon about some support for some items I purchased. They charged me wrong, and it's hard to get. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving. It's hard to get support today. But I was trying to talk to them before the items are delivered. But oh well, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. There, I just actually got done cooking my dinner. Now I got dinner for a week.
I saw that picture you sent of the turkey. It looks good.
Oh, it was
Was that in a? But wait, what was that pan inside of?
a roaster pan.
No, I mean the roaster pan. It was inside of something like a barbecue or something, or what was it?
Oh no, that's just the juices from the turkey.
No, no, no. I thought the roaster pan was sitting in something. I guess not. Maybe it just where the
Oh,
picture looked.
no, it's just the way the picture looked. Cause I made sure to keep the whole picture inside of the roaster pan. Got there, which reminds me, I got to clean the oven today.
No, it's
Ugh.
good. It looked delicious. So that's great.
Yeah. Oh, and I got a good price on it, 99 cents a pound.
Wow. That's
That's
really
awesome, dude.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to maybe cook a turkey today. I was going to go to the store and see if I could pick up a turkey or a ham, and none of that stuff's on sale anymore starting today. They've already changed all the sales. So the
Yeah.
turkeys, it's crazy. This is Thanksgiving Day, and all the turkeys and the ham are no longer on sale. Yeah, the last day they
Yeah.
were on sale was yesterday. That's crazy.
They do that here too, Pop. Like, if I'm going to buy a turkey for Thanksgiving or Christmas, the only place to get it here is like Walmart because you can get like a decent sized turkey for like maybe around $18 or something Canadian, which is not bad because some places are charging like $50 for a bloody turkey here, right? So I always go to Walmart. If I get there, like usually you want to get there 1 or 2 weeks before the holiday, and then they'll have a good supply,
Oh
in the
yeah, but
freezer still.
that's if you have a place to store the frozen turkey. I
Well, I
don't.
do have a little freezer in my fridge, which is
Yeah,
fine,
I was hoping to go buy a turkey, bring it home, and cook it in that order. I
right?
don't have places to store frozen turkeys and hams and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, you'd have to thaw the bird out like the day before anyway. So if
I
it's
think they
frozen,
have some that are thawed out. I don't
if
know.
you have a fresh turkey, yeah, that would probably, but you'd probably
That's what
pay
I was
more,
going
I'm
to.
guessing.
That's what I was hoping to do is buy a fresh turkey.
Yeah.
But I know the butter balls are almost $4 a pound, so it's like that's out of my league.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of turkeys are pretty pricey. I'm surprised Walmart can put them on so cheap, but I guess they have such
It's
volume,
off
right?
brand. Well, I'm sure if you look, it's off brand. It's not going to be Butterball or any of those big
Oh no,
ones.
it's not Butterball, but to tell you the truth, I've had good luck with the turkeys at Walmart because they've always been really tasty and they
Oh
seem
yeah,
perfectly fine, to
well,
me.
they are. The
So
off brands are fine. I have no problem with that. I'm sure if I had a way to get to Walmart, they probably still have turkeys available today, but they're over 30 miles away, and I don't have a car that's running right now.
yeah, that's a long ways to drive for a turkey.
Yeah, my only option. Well, I would if I had a car, I would go get it,
Right.
but I just don't have a way to do it. So, and my only store is Safeway, so I have to settle for whatever they have.
Yeah.
Right.
They've got pork roast on sale. I don't know if I feel like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and make some spaghetti or pasta, macaroni, spaghetti, something along those lines.
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
had
have turkey or Thanksgiving next time, whatever.
yeah, I cooked up some macaroni last night because I was too lazy to do anything fancy, so I just boiled up some pasta and
There you
I was
go.
like, good enough.
That's the bachelor's life. Just whatever's simple and fast, throw it together, right?
Yeah, I just cut up some cheddar cheese, little pieces, and stirred it in while the pasta was still really hot.
There you
So
go.
that all melted nice, and then I scooped up a little bit of mayonnaise and stirred that in as well.
Oh, I never heard of that before.
It was actually really good. Well,
No thanks. Mayonnaise for
I
me
enjoy
is not
mayo,
good.
so
That's fine. Mayonnaise, not me. Anything that calls for mayonnaise, I'll substitute with cottage cheese.
oh,
What?
interesting.
Disgusting.
Never thought of that. Wow,
I know, but
cottage cheese
I
with
had no
pasta.
choice because I
Hmm.
what's that? PvP?
Cottage cheese and pasta. Actually, I think when my mom used to make lasagna in the oven, she used to put cottage cheese in that. That was really good.
Ricotta. Ricotta is similar to cottage cheese. People will put that in if they can't afford the ricotta.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
oh, I just do basic lasagna there. I do 3 noodles on the bottom, then my spaghetti sauce and hamburger, then a layer of just regular shredded cheese, maybe sometimes Mexican, sometimes just cheddar, then 3 more noodles, sauce, then more shredded cheese, then 3 noodles on top.
Cool.
So
I
that
used to be on a really tight diet where I was working out and eating no sugar or nothing fat, and I found that whatever calls for mayonnaise, like if I'm going to make an egg salad sandwich, whatever calls for mayonnaise, I have to substitute with cottage cheese. And it's not as bad as it sounds. Everybody I know is that they said, "Ooh, that sounds terrible." I gave them taste, and they said, "Oh, that's not bad." So you're basically substituting. You're getting cheese instead of mayonnaise. I mean, think about it. Cheese has a better taste than mayonnaise. At least it does in my opinion. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't like mayonnaise or cottage cheese.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. Then that's different. You have to
uh-oh.
find something else. But mayonnaise for me is a big no-no. I mean, when I was a kid, we had to eat it when we were poor. But I've seen so many people. I worked fast food when I was a teenager. And I saw so many people get sick from mayonnaise that I
Huh.
just decided I turned it off, and I've never had it since.
Well, we all have different tastes. I have always liked mayonnaise. I don't know why.
I know.
I just
I
do.
know a lot of people that do.
I like cottage cheese, so cottage cheese is good too. Like I don't mind. Sometimes I'll just get a bowl of cottage cheese and just maybe sprinkle a little bit of salt on top. Give a little bit of extra flavor, and
Yeah, same here.
quite good. Yeah.
But I have to add a little bit of Tabasco sauce and maybe a little bit of pickle juice. I know that sounds
Well,
crazy.
I'll pass on the Tabasco because I don't like hot and spicy
What?
stuff.
You like pickle juice there, Pop?
Oh yeah, I put pickle juice in my salad. If I'm gonna make some green beans, I put pickle juice in it.
Oh,
I
if
eat
you
pickles by themselves.
yeah, if you could drink, I'd send you a dill pickle beer.
I drink. I bought some Budweiser a week and a half ago. I drink every now and then when I feel like it, and I drink pickle juice. I would be willing to try that beer as long as it tastes like dill pickles. I would try it.
It does. It tastes
Then I
exactly
would
like
try
dill
it.
pickle.
Right, as long as it's not sweet pickles or bread and butter pickles or kosher or something like that. I would
No,
do it.
it's dill pickle.
I like dill pickles.
That's amazing. Dill pickle beer. I've never heard of that. These craft beer companies, they're not afraid to try any flavor in their product, are they? I mean,
Well, I
seriously.
guarantee you, 99% of their sales are people like, okay, it's piqued by curiosity right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Probably.
thinking. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're trying to be
Yeah.
different because there's so much competition. Maybe.
No, my mom and dad like the beer. I hate pickles, so.
Oh, I couldn't imagine life without pickles.
So let's see. You hate pickles. You hate mayonnaise. You hate cottage cheese. We're narrowing the menu down here rapidly.
Hey, I may not look it, but I'm a picky eater.
Okay.
But
That's okay. But it makes up for it. What you don't eat with those stuff, you eat stuff I don't eat. Like you eat certain seafood that I won't eat, so that's okay. It all balances out.
Yeah.
I've still never had duck yet.
I've never had duck either.
I'm sure it's probably good, but I hadn't had the opportunity.
It's probably pricey though. I imagine if you bought it at the store,
$20.
even if probably be.
Or
I
you
don't know.
just go, or whatever the cost of a bird shot is.
Yeah, well, yeah, you will go out and shoot your own duck, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
I
if
don't
I lived
think I-
somewhere where I could, and if I had
Yeah.
the means.
yeah, I don't think. I don't think there's too many ducks flying over here
Well-
anyway. Well, I do
Well,
see them
Arizona,
occasionally.
you should be able to go hunting there pretty easily there in Arizona.
Oh, you can. You can. People carry open carry with no permit.
Oh, so
They
you're
don't have,
constitutional carry state.
right? They don't have all the waiting periods, all the BS, the permit, all that shit they have in California. None of that here, and it's great. I was at the grocery store a week or so ago and I saw this old man walk past me and he had a holster with a gun on it. And I thought, yes, yeah, I like that. I feel much safer in a store where people are carrying guns than I do in any store in California any day where they're allowed to steal and do whatever they want. But oh well, that's my personal taste and my personal choice. People that have people that carry guns and know how to shoot them are not usually the ones that rob and cause harm to other people. That's usually people who don't handle guns on a regular basis, obviously, without getting too political. That is. So, any of you guys doing a stream tonight? Should I? I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, I don't know when my daughter's going to bed, so I don't know what time I would be able to stream.
Okay, so you're probably gonna go, since you had that big dinner. You're probably gonna go to bed early tonight anyway, aren't you?
No, probably not.
So you have both kids tonight?
Just one.
Just a daughter?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she'll keep you up for a while.
Yeah, probably. Elsa, Dad, I want my Elsa. Where's my Elsa, Dad? I want my Elsa.
What's that? Sorry, I'm old.
Frozen, bro. Jeez, you are old.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I stopped
movie,
tuning out.
yeah.
Well, I'm proud of it. I stopped watching or consuming anything Disney at least a decade or two ago, and I'm proud of that fact. I would brag it. I'd shout it from the mountaintops. I don't participate in pedophilia, and I don't support it in any way.
Well, I've been trying to get her to watch stuff like Rugrats and all that other stuff.
There you go. That's the good stuff. Well, if it's by Warner Brothers or another company, sure.
Nickelodeon.
I just watched Superman, and a new cartoon just came out on I'll say the high seas, and it's called Batman and Superman: Battle of the Super Sons. That's an animated. I like cartoons. I like animated stuff, but I'm not going to watch anything Disney, and I would never feed it to my children.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad my kid's getting into movies there, but he's liking these horror films, so I'm gonna try to guide him on these horror films.
Excellent.
Yeah, good. It sounds wonderful, right? Good. Yeah, Exorcist might want to wait on that one. A few of them may want to wait.
Did you show him the Blob?
A lot of them.
Did you show him the Blob yet, girl? It might be a little intense. Maybe wait.
He just watched Five Nights at Freddy, and we just watched Megan, and he was screaming at the computer for Caddy to grab the fucking screwdriver.
Those movies are okay. They're made for kids, so no complaints there.
They're not showing anything too hardcore until he's
those are why I don't like modern horror, because they're geared towards kids. They're not geared towards people our age. They don't make movies for people our age anymore. It seems very rare.
Oh yeah, I remember when I was a kid, all the movies were made for adults, but I loved them because even as a kid, I could know what a smart, interesting movie was, right? If it was well written.
I don't remember them being made for adults. I remember them being made for everyone.
Well, yeah, but they were much more watchable for adults, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, because they were geared towards a wide audience. Now they're geared towards a very narrow audience.
Well, they basically, the writers basically assumed that their audience had some level of intelligence, so they wrote an intelligent story, right? So
yeah, which they don't do anymore, right?
Yeah. Well,
now they want the little girls. Right now, they just want the little girls screaming in the aisles. That's all they care about.
Oh boy.
But every now and then, like that one I recommended on one of my streams here a few weeks ago. I don't know about the guy who invited the other guy to his house because he was going to eat him. Right. That's a good one that I would recommend to people like us and not children. So every now and then they will make a good one that is not geared towards the far left or little kids. So it's rare, but it does happen still. There's some good ones. There's still obviously a lot of good ones we're going to cover on my stream too. So Sunday is the Christmas Story Christmas. Is that right, Gorilla?
Yep.
I'm so glad you're covering that movie. I think it's good that you're going to see something new for change instead of something you've already seen. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Hey, Gorilla, you got a link to that anywhere? Is there any place I could watch that? Because I have not watched that yet, and I should probably watch before the Sunday stream.
It's probably
It's not on Soap
Oh,
today.
we lost Nemesis.
Oops, Nemesis. I hope you can come back. I was just gonna say, Nemesis, are you there? Have you looked
probably
on
on
Soap
that
today?
site you gave me there.
Have you
Look
looked
here.
on, have you looked on Soap today, PvP?
Not yet. I probably can find it there though. I'll just have to look it up.
I can look it up. I'm on there now.
I'm on look movie.
Look movie's a good one too. That one has some good stuff. If you want to post it in the chat, guys, with the link, then I can just copy paste
Yeah.
and save that.
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
Thank you.
There it is. Okay, give me just a moment. I'll post the link.
Yep, it's on the look today too.
Oh, great.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Red.
Hey,
Hey, Jeremy.
how's it going?
Oh, not too
Okay,
bad. Too bad.
I just posted the link on the private chat,
Excellent.
and it looks
Thank
like so did Gorilla. So you could
Yeah.
make your take your choice,
Yeah, I see it here. Let's see.
and you can tell because it's
Oh.
obviously it's got Ralphie grown up on the front instead of a little kid. His face.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, the best part is, like I said, it's definitely not as bad as it could be, and the fact they brought together most of the old cast, which is not the ones that are still alive. That is, except for Julie Haggerty. You know, like I said, but it doesn't matter. They have most of the original cast.
Yeah, which one was that?
The one that played the mother, Melinda Dillon, she turned down the role for this new movie. She didn't want to do it. I'm guessing because she's old. But I think she's retired. So they got Julie Haggerty instead. She's the one that was in the movie that you have not seen, which is Airplane. She's got big eyes. She does a good job as the mother, but it's kind of strange having somebody else play the mother. But it's got, like I said, it's got Ralphie, and it's got his little brother. I can't remember his little brother's name. And the friends that are his friends, the guy, the bullies, everybody, the Bumpuses next door, all that.
Oh boy, that's going to be good.
But now
Hey,
he's
Gorilla.
grown up and he's a writer. Is the
Gorilla,
plot.
you've never seen Airplane?
No.
Oh man, that's something.
I know.
We gotta watch that.
You
We
just
gotta
gotta learn. He
live
hasn't
stream.
seen pretty much anything.
That is such that it's
Right.
probably one of the funniest films I've ever seen.
It is.
Totally.
It's in the top. And PPP, just for some history, the only thing he's seen from the Zaz team is Top Secret, and he did like Top Secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he hasn't seen Naked Gun or Police Squad or
Oh
Airplane
wow.
or any of those.
Oh, those are all gold. You got to see all of those. I remember when Airplane came out in the theaters. My cousin and I went to it, and we laughed so hard. Seriously, we were in physical pain. I could feel my ribs like by the end of the movie when we walked out of the theater. I think my ribs hurt for like an entire day after that because we were just laughing constantly through the whole damn film, pretty much, right? It's just one gag after another, and they pretty much are all great. So, yeah, it's a great movie.
I think it's right up Gorilla's alley.
Yeah. Oh, I think Gorilla will love it. Actually, yeah.
So
Personally, I'm not a fan, but
so what do we?
Gorilla will definitely love it.
Okay. Maybe that's something we could cover something or sometime.
Yeah, put it on the list. I mean, obviously you're doing Christmas movies for the next month, and then we're going to do the last American Pie film, number 4, I guess. After that, and
Yep.
I guess after that is pretty much whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, then we can do trilogies or standalone movies and stuff like that. So if
Yeah.
we pick
Yeah, but I have to
like
warn you, PvP. I have to warn. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say if we do trilogies though
Oh,
or stuff like that, I'd want to watch all 3.
Got it. I was going to say
And,
PvP. I need to warn you though. Gorilla's never seen all those disaster movies that Airplane parodies, so that might be a little different. He might not understand a little of the humor. We did because we were around during the Airport 1977 and all those. So if you
Right.
haven't seen all those, it may not make sense. I think that's maybe why I don't know.
Well, maybe if you watch the first airport movie, that might be sufficient because that's probably the best of all of the airport movies, right? So,
Maybe he should watch Zero Hour, the movie that it actually parodies, because it specifically copies one specific movie, which is Zero Hour.
oh,
That's
okay.
on YouTube, and it's on
Oh.
YouTube.
Okay. And Nemesis says, got a phone call. Thanks for having me on your stream, Gorilla. Happy Thanksgiving to you Americans. Well, thank you for coming on. You're always welcome back if we're still going. I don't know
Yeah.
how long we'll be going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good to see
nice
Nemesis.
seeing you, Nemesis.
But I do got to be heading down south here in about 4 hours. So,
Where are you driving?
oh, I just got to go. I just have to go down to Vic's Corner to pick up my daughter.
Oh,
It's
okay.
about 17 miles.
Oh, so she's not there now?
No, that's why I'm streaming.
Okay. Gotcha.
And nothing better to do than just see her playing games and listening to YouTube videos. Or maybe
Does that mean that she gets to eat at mom's and then again at dad's?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of turkey to eat for a few days.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Do you make any home? Do you bake anything like bread, pies, anything like that?
Oh, damn it! My sister never did drop off a pie. I was wondering what I was.
I guess that's a no.
No, I ordered a pie from the school to help pay for their new playground equipment.
I know. I was just wondering if you were a baker. If you ever do bread, pies, cookies. I'm talking about from scratch.
I just been too lazy to cook the bread there. I got the yeast and stuff. I just been too lazy to bake some.
Gotcha.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll make some homemade bread tomorrow.
That's the best. It's delicious. Homemade bread, homemade rolls, that kind of stuff.
Well, I made dumplings though today. Real easy recipe too.
Yeah, dumplings are simple and they're delicious. It's something you don't see anymore.
Yeah. Well, you get 2 cups flour, 2 cups cold potatoes, 1 egg, then just add some water. Then I like to throw some pepper in there. Then I like they say boil it in water, but I like to boil it in broth.
Yeah, I would agree there. And I have not heard that recipe where you use potatoes, but it sounds good.
Yeah. It's an old family recipe. But I just started adding the pepper and stuff to it, and I like boiling it in the broth instead of the water.
Good idea. Chicken broth?
Yeah.
Exactly. What the dumplings? What were they with? They for the turkey or what?
Yeah. We make them every once in a while. Usually when we have some kind of bird, we make dumplings.
Cool. I made them with chicken soup, but I haven't. It's been decades. The last time I made dumplings, I think I was probably like in my 20s, which for me, that's a long time. I'll put it that way. Way before you were born, that old.
I haven't made chicken and dumplings in a long time. Though I'm probably going to make a bean hot dish here one of the days after the turkey's gone.
A bean what?
Bean hot dish.
Oh, hot dish.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Bean? What kind of bean?
Macaroni, baked beans, and hamburger.
That's an interesting combination. I just had baked beans the other day, and I like macaroni, but I've never thought about combining the two.
Oh, it's good. Especially, it's really, really decent on the when you first cook it. You eat it right fresh off of the thing. But then once you start making the leftovers, it's still good, but it's not nearly as good.
Does it start to get really thick?
I wouldn't say thick, but you don't have the liquidness of the beans anymore. It's all been absorbed.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what it sounds like. Between the beans and the noodles, it probably would.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all this food, and that's making me hungry.
Well, someone's got to, right?
I know, right? I did watch Horror of Dracula last night, so I'm all ready for Tuesday's stream.
Oh, Horror of Dracula. I never heard of it. That's
the Hammer movie. We were talking about Hammer movies, and that's the first one I'm going to cover Tuesday night on the Horror Sci-Fi stream. 1958's Horror of Dracula, starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing as Dr. Van Helsing.
Did you post that on your community tab yet, Bob?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to today.
Yeah, good, because I want to watch that one.
I also have the link. It's a good high def Oh, I haven't looked for the link, but I'm sure it's online. I downloaded it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start. It's the first Dracula movie they made, and then I'll alternate next month. It'll be the first Frankenstein, because they made basically a series of following those characters. I don't know if you remember. And I'm gonna go back and forth each month. 1 month Dracula, 1 month Frankenstein, 1 month Dracula, 1 month Frankenstein. I should probably cover the Universal Frankenstein Dracula's first, but I figure, oh well, I'll do those eventually.
Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
He probably watched the wrong Dracula.
No, I didn't. Looks like Saturday we're gonna be getting a hell of a lot of snow.
Oh no.
Hunker
right
in,
now,
huh?
some places are getting 8 to 12, accompanied with 50-mile-an-hour winds. So
That sounds like not a good time.
oh, come on. And it can't be like on a work day. It has to be on the weekend.
You want it on a work day to drive through that?
No, I wouldn't be going in.
Oh, so when the weather's bad, they canceled the work day. Oh,
Well, when you got 12 inches of fresh snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds, you can't see for nothing, or roads start drifting over.
oh, that's true. Yeah, with the wind, right? Of course.
Well, yeah, but the bad news is that without pay if you're not working, or with pay?
I got vacation time. I save all my vacation time for that.
Oh, so vacation. Okay, no, that's good. That's good.
See, I don't go anywhere for vacation. I just use it for when I have to call in.
Makes sense.
Well, if it's on the weekend, though, Gorilla, you just stock up on some food and drink and just relax over the weekend and stay indoors. Just stock up before.
Gorilla, can I share this real quick? This is the movie we're going to be covering. So that's the very first one, 1958, and that's the movie poster. And that's a still. I didn't want to show the trailer because I don't know if the trailer will get you in trouble or not, so I paused it. But that's Dracula in his castle, and in my opinion, the best Dracula who ever existed, Christopher Lee. He's the same guy that was in. Yeah, he was the same guy that was in the Lord of the Rings. For your younger people out there listening.
Yeah, he really was a great Dracula. Like, I mean, as fun as the old Bela Lugosi, film is, I think Christopher Lee is a much better Dracula. Really, he's menacing. He's very menacing.
And he's like
Quite
6'7".
Christopher Lee is a much better actor.
Yeah. That too,
definitely.
The acting,
Yeah,
absolutely. He was the
for sure.
Shakespearean trained, right? He was like 6'7", and he was like Shakespearean trained.
Very
absolutely.
All right, you have a good day there, Nemesis. There, I hope your appointment goes well.
Okay, have a
good luck,
day,
Nemesis.
And I hope your appointment does go well.
It's too bad Christopher Lee did those Star Wars movies. I didn't like those. Count Dooku or Dookie or whatever the hell that was. I hated that. That was beneath him.
He did that for just pure enjoyment of it.
I know, which is fine, and it was kind of nice to see him in it since Peter Cushing was in the original. So that was kind of a homage to Peter Cushing, but it's just that those prequels were so bad. Oh my god! And when he fought Yoda, oh goodness.
Yeah, that must have been sort of awkward fighting thin air.
Pretty much. I saw an interview with him that was funny. And they asked him, and this is an interview when he was old, obviously, before he died. But he was still there mentally. He was all still there, of course, because he had to clear to the very end. But anyway, you guys know he did rock albums, right? Where he sings hard rock?
I did not know
that. He did
wow.
death metal.
Yeah, death metal. Yes.
Oh my good Lord. That's unbelievable. Wow. I imagine
it's
on YouTube.
Yes, look it up. You have your music channel. Look it up. It's death metal. I mean, it's like really hardcore, believe it or not.
I actually can't believe it in a way, because it just doesn't seem to, like his image. You don't expect him to be doing hardcore death metal, like
right.
Maybe something a little, pop albums, something a little more moderate, some mainstream rock or something.
Christopher Lee did not do moderate.
Oh God, death metal though. That's pretty extreme.
I got
to hear. I've got to hear that. Yeah.
The interview I saw him in, they asked him. They said, "What do you like?" The reporter was young. Okay, I'll put it that way, without insulting the reporter. The person asking questions was young, and they were asking him, about his career, and he was talking about how he was best friends with the guy who did Lord of the Rings, whatever his name is, the guy who wrote it. I don't
Peter
remember.
Jackson.
No, the guy who wrote the story,
the
Lord of
real.
the Rings.
Oh,
Oh,
Tolkien.
Tolkien.
Tolkien,
J.R.
yeah,
Tolkien.
Tolkien or whatever his
He
name is.
was
Right,
a huge admirer of Tolkien.
right, and he was best friends with him, and he was also friends with the guy who wrote Bond, Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming.
And he was talking about how he was in World War II. And anyway, but the reporter asked him, "Have you ever played anything sinister?"
Oh,
and the look on Peter Cushing's face, or Christopher Lee's face, the look on his face, and then that's when he said something about, but he insulted the reporter. He said, "I'm only asked questions like that from young people." Because the interview was right around the time, I think it was when he was doing the Star Wars sequels or the Lord of the Rings.
But
yeah, and they were asking
He
him
was
that.
the most sinister SOBs in both of those movies.
I know.
The interviewer should have done his homework. Like, spend an hour or
Exactly.
two doing a bit of research. Like, Jesus,
Hell,
go on
spend 5 minutes
Wikipedia and
just
read up
putting in
about
Google.
him.
Yeah, just
Not that
Google.
hard.
Yeah. I know. It was embarrassing. You felt embarrassed for Christopher Lee. It's like, oh God.
That's a lazy interviewer, I gotta say.
You know what's stupid is that's a professional reporter. If I'd have been sat there, I could have thought of 1,000 more questions that were much better and on point.
Oh, you probably
I would have been going on forever until they kicked me out of there.
Well, yeah, you're so knowledgeable about this stuff. You probably would have done a great interview, Pop.
Oh God, I would have talked about like I said, I would have until they shut me down. I could ask some questions until they shut me down.
Oh boy, that's kind of sad and funny at the same time.
It was awkward, but I laughed. And the look on on Christopher Lee, I was getting things mixed up. The look on Christopher Lee's face when they asked him that, I was like, oh my God.
That must have been pretty funny.
But anyway, yes. So if you guys are able, please join us Tuesday night for Horror of Dracula, and you'll see what I'm talking about, Gorilla.
Wait, so it's in black and white?
Definitely in color.
Oh no, Hammer films.
In color?
Hammer films are very colorful.
Okay.
Technicolor, to be specific, is what they called it back then.
But that way, picture you're probably looking at is just really washed out. It sort of looks black and white, but there is color to it if you got a good picture.
Yeah,
it's very flush.
Yes, and they have makeup on him to make it look dead, obviously. So he doesn't have skin tones like everyone else in the movie. But it's not based on the novel Dracula. It's based on a play that was based on the movie. But either way, it's got the same character name, so that really doesn't matter. But it's the first time we see him play Dracula, and it's the first time we see Peter Cushing. I know you don't know who that is either, Gorilla, but you'll recognize him. He was in Top Secret. I'll put it that way. You saw Top Secret. He was the bookstore owner that moved it and walked in reverse. That was his last role, I think, one of his last roles. But yeah, it's the first time Peter Cushing's playing Van Helsing, so it's kind of cool. And then you'll get to
be more precise. He's Grand Moff Tarkin.
Grand Moff Tarkin from the first Star Wars. I don't know if you remember that. The one that was when Darth Vader actually had a boss. Vader released him. And he's the one that destroyed Alderaan. When he had Princess Leia right there. Wearing slippers, by the way, off camera. But like I said, then next month, I'll be showing him as Victor Frankenstein when he stars in the Frankenstein movies. And he's the scientist who put together the monster. There's so many Hammer movies, my God. I figured the best to do is start with the Dracula and Frankenstein and go from there. Hammer does have some more. Go ahead.
Is that the one that has the same actor playing the monster as the guy who was in Darth Vader's suit? Because I know.
Oh, he did one. You're talking about David Prowse, and I think he did play one of the Frankenstein monsters in one of the later Hammer horror movies. You're correct.
Yeah, because I know he made his big claim to fame was doing a bunch of creature features.
Yeah, because of his size.
Frankenstein was the primary one.
Yep. It was I get the names mixed up because they were names like Curse of Frankenstein, Return of Frankenstein, that kind of stuff. So I can't remember exactly which one, but I will be covering the one with David Prowse. But the color is not quite like what you're used to seeing gorilla on the like 60s, like on Gilligan's Island, but it is in color.
Okay. So it's like Wizard of Oz color.
Nope, it doesn't pop like that. Is what I'm saying. It's a little more subdued. Um, I would say it's got a lot of blues and grays. It does, but it does have the red. Like the blood really pops out. But it's
Oh,
just
so
it's different. It's a completely different film stock than what you're used to seeing because it was a British movie. They used a different film stock. I don't know why.
would
It was cheaper.
1984 kind of fit that scenario, that color?
No, 1984 came later. No, it doesn't look that bad. That's bad. Doesn't look that bad. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know. I have an eye where I could tell by looking at a movie what film stock they used and when it was filmed by looking at the film stock. But you might not be so critical, so it might be okay. Bro, actually, for me, it's still okay. I thought it looked great, and like I said, full color. So I'll say it doesn't look as vibrant and pop out as much as like Gilligan's Island or the '60s or like Wizard of Oz when they show Munchkin Land. It doesn't pop out or saturate that much, but it still looks better than the color from the '70s and '80s that we had here in the U.S. And still, some movies are still, they look bland and washed out.
Okay.
Well, the Hammer films are so atmospheric. I think they kind of purposely, made the color strong to sort of, enhance the atmosphere because they are
That's
very
what I was.
atmospheric.
That's what I was saying. Especially the blood, it really pops in those Hammer movies. It really
Yeah,
stands out.
yeah. There's some pretty bloody stuff for for its time.
For the
For
'50s,
way
yeah,
back then.
and yeah, I would say they showed more. They were more daring than the American movies at the time. And the American movies at the time, we were getting a lot of the low budget American International black and white movies. I mean, they were good. I mean, we were getting like The Thing, and we were getting like Tarantula, and all that stuff. But a lot of the horror movies in America at the time were black and white.
Yeah,
So, and while Hammer was showing color movies, so that was good.
yeah. I did like the American International films from the '60s. So when they started doing the Roger Corman Poe films, I think they were American International, if I remember.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And if
and
I had to compare Gorilla,
and they did
I
some
was
Vincent Price films too that were really great. Uh,
yes. And I want to add Gorilla. If I had to compare what the color looks like in the Hammer movies that we're going to see, like when we watch the original Fly, they're going to look like that
Okay.
because that was around the same time, '50s, '60s. So that's how they looked. So yeah, that's called they were using film then called Technicolor. They actually changed different kind of film stock over the years. And they all had different names. And that was when we had the three strip process of Technicolor.
Okay. So what was the stuff on Gilligan's Island then?
That was just color film. By then I think it was probably Panavision. Panavision eventually dominated the whole market, and I think it still is. But some people use different cameras. But Panavision is a camera maker. And whenever you see behind the scenes and you see those big old cameras they use to film movies, a lot of the times those are Panavision cameras, and they rent them, and they're very expensive. And a lot of times, then they would make also the film. Film was also produced and made by like Kodak and other companies that we've heard of.
Okay.
But I can tell you right now, like with The Fly and with the Hammer Horror, the color fits the mood because they're supposed to take place like in the 1800s, 1850s, mid 1800s. So I think if they would have had the color like Gilligan's Island and Wizard of Oz, I think it would have made him look too cartoonish. So I think the color balance is right about right because, like I said, they're horror movies. So they're in color, but they don't look as cartoonish. Because you got to remember, like Wizard of Oz, if you think about the Munchkin scene, very, very colorful, and almost like a cartoon. And I'm not complaining about it. The color looked fantastic and amazing, but it was like very, very saturated.
I think for the Wizard of Oz, so the color was appropriate because it was like a fantasy world that
It
Dorothy
was
entered.
right, and it was
Right.
supposed to be the exact opposite of her drab sepia color black and white life. So it was supposed to be
Well,
opposite. So it was
yeah,
perfect.
it's her drab contrast to her drab real life. It's like her fantasy life. Do you think that the whole Oz thing took place in Dorothy's dream, perhaps? That she was like
That's
knocked
pretty
out.
much that's pretty much assumed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I always kind of figured. Yeah.
Now okay, for those of you guys have seen Wizard of Oz, they didn't change the film when they went from black and white to color, right?
Oh, they didn't.
Okay, I want you guys to try to remember. It showed Dorothy inside the house after the house crashed after the storm, and she's still in black and white or sepia tone. Some people don't know what that means, but she's in black and white. I'll put it that way. She's in there walking through the house. She had bumped her head. It's still in black and white. Now I want you to remember this. She walks up to the front door, and you can see from behind her, the camera's behind her, you can see the back of her, and as she grabs the front door, everything's in black and white. As she grabs the front door and opens it, all you see is bright color. Do you remember that?
I do.
It's
Okay.
been a while.
Okay, that's fine. Here's what they did. When they showed, obviously the whole first part of the movie was filmed in black and white, with black and white film. And then when the house crashed and it showed her walking through the house, that was in black and white. When you see her face and everything, black and white. Then when it cuts to the scene of the front door and you see the back of her, what they did is they painted everything in black and white and used color film. So that very last scene before color is actually in color, but they painted the interior of her house black and white so that it would look black and white. And then when she opens the door, it was in color. Instead of
That's
having to use an effect. Does that make sense?
That's brilliant. Actually, I never knew that. That's
Yep.
brilliant.
Yep, it is.
Creative filmmaking back in the day. Lost art.
A lot of people think that old movie 1930s, it must be black and white. But no, they had color back then.
I didn't realize how old it was.
Yep, Gone with the Wind came out the same year, full color.
And that's another vibrantly colorful film.
Those two movies competed for awards that year at the Academy Awards, and Gone with the Wind took most of them.
Yeah, yeah. Both great films in their own right, though.
Well, they are, but I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've never been able to sit through all of Gone with the Wind. It's a love story, and I'm not.
Well,
I've tried.
The thing about Gone with the Wind, I partially agree with you, Pop. It's like, remember in the cinema there was an intermission halfway through the movie, right? There was like a first part and a second part. I really enjoyed the first part. You know, when they're building up to the war and they have some of the war scenes and there's battles and lots of action and explosion. I think the burning of Atlantis in the first half. I mean, that's great movie making, that stuff. But then when it flips over to the second half and goes into the romance, it definitely does lose a fair bit of steam for me as well. I got to say, the second half is a little bit challenging to watch after the exciting first half. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever made it to the end. I know,
The end
and
is good, though.
I'm a film lover. I'm a big film buff.
Well, it does have
But
that
I'm
classic
guilty.
line, that classic Clark Gable line, right in the last line, right?
Right.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if I've ever sat to the movie long enough to see that line live in the movie. I've seen it in clips on other things,
Yeah.
but I can't remember if I've made it to the end of the movie to see it within the context of the movie.
Well, it's worth trying to
Sad
get
to
through
say.
it. I'd say one time, just for the heck of it, just to experience it. But I do
I
agree
know.
the second half is a weaker film than the first half. Definitely.
But I know it's popular, and it goes into the lexicon of American history as far as one of the greatest movies ever made, one of the most profitable. But I can understand it for all its accolades and awards. It's just that, for me, I don't know, my brain just switches off when there's romance. I mean, I can understand a little bit of romance here and there, but when it's a romance movie, it's very, very difficult for me.
Well, the thing is, the first half feels like actual drama, like serious drama. The second half also switches into more melodrama, I
Talking
think.
heads.
You know, it's just
Yes.
more tear-jerking stuff, and I think what is it? Her father, dies in that horse accident, and you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of melodramatic stuff, right? You know,
Uh-huh.
so yeah,
It
and
took me
Scarlet.
several. It took me, yeah, through my life. It took me several viewings to get to the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey as well.
It's a challenging film. I like that film a lot. It's one of my favorites, but it is a challenging film. Although I think the first part, anyway, up until the part where they get to Jupiter, I think most of the film is really great because it's just so well made. I mean, the special effects, when I look at them, they're still amazingly good. I mean, I think the special effects in '68 for its time are still far surpass most space movies nowadays.
Yeah, it was Douglas Trumbull did the special effects, but it's
Exactly.
just the plot kind of for me was the
Oh,
plot lagged. I'll put it that way,
the
and it was it was another one that like I just said it took multiple viewings before I finally got to the end.
Yeah. Well, Kubrick could be that kind of director, though. He was a kind of somewhat detached a lot of the times. Like took quite kind of a cold, clinical eye to humanity a
Yeah,
lot of the time in his movies,
right. And
which
I
I
do
kind of
like his other movies. I like his other movies. I have
yeah.
no problem watching those, but it's I don't know. It's just
Oh,
and I understand it might be a reflective of the book. Maybe the book is kind of a big slog. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never read the book
Oh,
Arthur C. Clarke, but
oh,
I read Arthur
pops.
C. Clarke, but not that one. Go ahead, Gorilla.
Do you have a link to that one we're doing on Monday there for Lost in Space? That's that unaired thing.
Oh, the pilot.
Yeah, the unaired pilot.
Give me a second. I do have it on one of my. I've got like 100 tabs, and it's one of them. There it is. Okay. Yeah, here's the link, and let me post it here. Bear with me, guys. This is the link to the Lost in Space pilot from Monday night.
Oh, it's on
Private
Daily
chat.
Motion, huh?
That's the only place I can find it. Actually, it's not on Soap Today or any of the others.
doesn't Daily Motion have tons of commercials now, though?
I don't think it has commercials. I don't remember. I
Because I
haven't watched the
remember
whole thing.
it used to
That's
be
why I use Brave. Yeah,
a great site, but then they started showing ads all the
oh,
time, and I've
Daily
even got
Daily
an ad
Motion
blocker.
is very, very hit and miss when it comes to ads and video quality.
Yeah.
Right. And like Gorilla says, use Brave, and that'll knock out the commercials.
or
Okay.
you block Origin.
Or yes, right. uBlock Origin is a plugin if you're using a different browser.
Could you post a link to that?
It's in the private chat.
block?
Oh, uBlock. It's a. I don't know
I
if you, is there a link to it? It's a plugin.
got it.
Oh, it's a plugin. Oh,
I'll get it directed to the site there.
okay.
What?
Oh, and do check out that. I know we were talking about Nemesis. I know, I'm blessed him for that. He said, that Suzanne needed help, and that's more important. But honestly, that's fine if you want to donate to Suzanne. I donated to Suzanne, but I donated to her and Nemesis. So there's always room for both of those people, not just one. I just wanted to say, every time we see Nemesis online, he's on a phone. He's the only one out of all of us who doesn't have a computer. So I would say it's an important reason, and it's just for a cheap laptop.
Oh. That's getting way too fat. He wants attention, but he's getting hard to pick up. What?
Who's that? Oh, we just lost Jerem.
This guy, he wants attention.
Oh.
He wants attention, but he's hard to pick up with one arm.
Oh, he's probably smelling all that food, and he wants you to feed him some turkey.
That's a big kitty.
Well, he got nothing else left. He got fat once he got declawed and neutered.
That's what happened. You had him declawed?
Yeah.
So pretty much food is the only joy in life he's got left then.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy.
There's Jerem. You
or
have to be
ex-cat.
careful though. You have to be careful when you declaw them. They can't defend themselves if they get in a fight with the other cats. Unless he stays inside the house, that's fine.
He stays in for the most part. Like there's a few times he's ran out. He tries to run outside a lot, but there's a couple times I said, "Fuck it, you can stay outside."
Oh, I'm just saying, you be careful if he gets in a fight with another neighborhood cat because he'll lose.
Yeah, I don't know. He could probably just sit on them.
I'm
I think
serious.
he may be a bit too fat to defend himself in the first place.
Not if he was in a fight. Not if he was in a fight. He would defend himself. But yeah, that's why they usually say declawing is not a good idea because they have to be able to defend themselves if they're around other cats. That's all. Getting him neutered is fine. I've got my 2 dogs
Yeah.
neutered.
Well, him and Pumpkin sit there and fight each other. He just sits on her.
I don't think another cat is going to let that happen though. If it's on the defense or the offense,
Yeah.
but that's another matter.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try to get a turkey again Christmas. Maybe they'll go on sale. They should go on sale again in December, right?
Yeah, I would
Probably.
try and get one out if you got any place to put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
I'd
I'm
try
gonna
and get
make it.
one early.
I'm gonna make duck on Christmas there.
Did you make a ham today, Gorilla?
No turkey.
I was asking if you did both, but I guess you did just the turkey.
Yeah, it's because it's just me here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna have enough leftovers for 3 or 4 days at least.
Turkey sandwiches, right?
No, just turkey and gravy.
Turkey gravy. When you make your gravy, do you do it out with flour or corn starch?
I don't know what they put in the jar. I was just too lazy. I didn't quite know how to make it. I could probably make
That's
some homemade
okay.
gravy. I still got all the drippings in that. I might make some homemade gravy though.
If you do, it's not difficult, and it does taste better than the jars stuff.
Oh no, I'd make some good turkey. It's there, good gravy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially if you use the drippings, it's going to be delicious. Same
Yeah.
when you make fried chicken. Well, the reason why I asked is when I was a kid, we had a lot of shit on the shingle, and we had so much of it. It got to where I don't like gravy made with flour anymore. So when I eat gravy, I prefer it made with cornstarch. That stuff you got in the jar was probably made with cornstarch.
Hey, did I tell you what Owen told me the other day?
What's that?
With that because I made shit on the shingle there because I had jar gravy and hamburger. I was like, oh, let's just make shit on a shingle there. He goes, is it really called that? I was like, yeah. Well, what's it taste like? Dog shit?
Almost. When we had it, I didn't put ketchup. I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it. When I was a kid, I had to put ketchup on it or something. Same with like liver. I had to put ketchup. Where's the ketchup?
Oh yeah,
It's not made to be liked.
Yeah,
I
my
know,
mom used-
right?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
My mom
Some
cooked
people
liver.
do.
I'd always cover it in ketchup. That was the only way I could eat liver.
When I went in the Air Force, we had the chow hall, mess hall, where people go eat. Obviously, Air Force had really good food, surprisingly, on base. And like when we go to breakfast, and I had friends from all over. I had friends from Iowa, New York, whatever, different places. And there'd be like 6 of us, so we'd go to breakfast together at the chow hall. And they had all these different things to choose from breakfast. And I always ordered like an omelet. I loved omelets because I grew up poor. We didn't get stuff like that very often. So I always ordered stuff that I never got as a kid. And then I had my friends from the South ordering shit on a shingle and cream of wheat and grits and stuff like that. I was like, what are you doing? Oh my God.
Yikes. Ugh. Yeah.
People like it. Yeah, people like that. In the South at McDonald's, they sell that shit on the menu.
Really?
Hey, they sell
Yes.
that shit up here.
Ugh.
I don't think we have that in the McDonald's up here in Canada.
Grits
that I'm
and
aware of.
gravy and all that stuff. They sell everywhere in the South.
I never eat at McDonald's anymore anyway.
Well,
The
same
food's
here. I
too
don't eat
crappy and the
McDonald's.
price. $8 for like a Big Mac now. It's like, come on, guys. That's ridiculous.
They're all like that now. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's still cheaper than the other ones. I mean, there's a Carl's Jr. not far away. I was looking. They start at $9 something on up.
Really?
And with tax, they average with tax about $11 and something. It's ridiculous.
Jeez. Well, I guess they're a little more of a specialty chain, right? They're not quite as big, so.
No, it's just that everybody. I mean, obviously we've had inflation thanks to our president. without giving out names. We have inflation, which is out of control. So
Yeah.
because of that, everybody decided, well, let's just raise our prices way sky high. What they did is they don't know how high it's going to keep going. So what happened is the way inflation works is well, I'm sure you guys already know this, but let's say inflation goes up 10%. Restaurants, stores, grocery, all that. They say, okay, it raised 10%. We need to raise our prices, but we're not going to do 10%. We're going to do 40% because it's going to keep going. And we can't keep raising our prices and reprogramming the registers and doing all this other stuff. So whenever inflation goes up, it usually goes up by 4 times that much at the stores. So that's why burgers and all that stuff are so high now, because they're preparing for the next 2 or 3 years of inflation.
Yeah, the only time I'll buy burgers is if they put them on sale, you know. Sometimes they'll do sales like Burger King's pretty good for that here. Some months they'll do like two
Buy one get one free.
yeah, to like two for $10 or something, which isn't bad. I don't mind
Yeah,
buying
I
that,
used to.
you
I
know,
used to do that when
for
I
a
was
big
in
burger.
California. Yeah, when I was in
Yeah.
California, I would grab them when they were on sale.
Yeah,
But
they'd have what, two
I'm not near
Whoppers or
here.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, here we don't have a Burger King. All we have is KFC Taco Bell combo, McDonald's, and Carl's Jr. is all we have here, unfortunately.
Mhm. Well, it's a smaller community there, isn't it, Pop? I think you
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah, it's a tourist trap, so everything's like really, really high.
Oh, that too. I remember you saying that now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. The prices here are higher than what I was paying in the Bay Area of California, and that's the most expensive area in California.
Gee, that does sound bad. Gosh.
Yeah, so I think they're higher than anywhere in the U.S.
Hmm.
And their
Yeah,
gas
well,
here, like this is Arizona, their gas here is almost as expensive as California. It's just maybe a dime or 20 cents less.
uh, yeah, yeah. The cost of everything. It's not much fun. Just like I was telling
No.
Germ earlier about our gas prices, and he was kind of a little bit freaked when I told him what we pay up here.
There was a freak, is it, or just as high as yours?
Oh,
Yeah.
your gas prices was a lot cheaper.
Mine
Well, our
are a lot
prices are screwed,
cheaper.
our
I paid
prices are screwed up. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Gorilla.
so PvP. Mine were $2.79.
See, our
Yeah, but
prices
that's
in
for a
this
gallon,
area.
though.
Yes.
And you gotta consider you're going from Canadian money to American money, which
Right, and they buy
I
it by the.
finally found
by the-
out how pathetic that conversion rate is.
and they buy it by
All
the
right, go
liter up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's around $1.68 a liter right now.
Right. Here's my question, PvP. In California, the reason why regardless of gallons or liters, the reason why the prices are so high is because our new president shut down all the refineries, and the governor shut down all the gas refineries, shut down all the pipelines, and made us start buying gas from overseas. And that's why gas is so expensive. What's the excuse in Canada?
I'm not familiar. Well, something about refineries up in the northwest here. Something about the refineries. I think the refineries are old and the capacity. Something about
Oh,
capacity or maintenance. I mean, some excuse.
of
I
course.
can't remember exactly
Yeah,
what they
it's an
said, but
excuse. But they
yeah,
haven't shut down the refineries like they've done here in the U.S.
not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, we're still
And-
getting our
Right.
gas, and I don't think we import it from overseas. If anything, we'd probably get it from Alberta because they're right next door, and they're the
Yes, as soon as we
oil
got
and
our new
gas
president,
producer.
yeah, as soon as we got our new president, the first thing he did is he went and blew up that Nord Stream pipeline. He shut down all of our pipelines that we had built just during the last previous administration, and then they just went left and right, shutting down all of our refineries. And now we're having to once again get our gas from overseas, and we're paying
Well,
higher
yeah.
ungodly prices.
Well, remember Keystone? The Keystone pipeline was supposed to go from Alberta south, right,
Uh-huh.
and supply
Yeah.
you guys with lots of petroleum product, and of course
Uh-huh.
that got shut down. So,
Oh yeah.
and
That
our
got shut down
government was
on day
not happy
one
about that.
illegally.
Our government
Congress
wasn't too happy
passed
about that.
a law approving Keystone, and then Biden comes in day one and says no.
Uh-huh. Well, same
He
thing with the Nord Stream.
circumvented
They blew it.
Congress illegally to do
Right.
that.
It wasn't exactly legal when they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. He doesn't care about laws. I mean, obviously, he's flying by the seat of his pants doing whatever he wants.
It's pretty crazy though to shut down your domestic supply and rely on overseas foreign
Uh-huh.
gas from I'm guessing maybe a certain Asian country. I'm not sure where you're getting it. Middle
Well, no,
Eastern country.
I don't know if it's considered Middle East. I was going to say, yeah, I don't know about Asian,
Yeah,
but Middle East
but I mean
definitely.
Yeah.
the Middle East isn't exactly a friendly place to the West either. So
We
it's
get
No,
about 72% of our gas comes directly through Saudi Arabia.
right, which means they control the prices, obviously.
okay. I guess America and the Saudis do have some kind of strange relationship, though, don't they? Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, on
yeah.
paper,
I don't
I
know.
have to clarify. On paper, it's about that much that comes through Saudi Arabia. It is technically illegal for us to import any type of fuel from South America, certain South American nations right now, but it doesn't stop people.
Well, yeah, we're not supposed to be dealing with China either, but look at us. Hell, we're selling a lot of our land to them. They own a whole shitload of farmland in the U.S. now. And you
Yeah,
guys
it's
saw that wonderful
Yeah.
what happened in San Francisco when they went to visit, right? What they did? Oh my God.
Yep. They literally just bust the problem 2.5 hours east.
Right after all these decades of everything falling apart, all the homeless, the drugs, the needles, and the feces, and all these issues with San Francisco, they cleaned it all up pretty much overnight for that communist dictator. Oh my God!
Then he flat out admits
And
it.
yeah, they even admitted it. Newsom did. Yes, they don't have anything to hide. Yeah, that's how blatant they are. They have nothing to hide, and they're laughing in everyone's faces.
yeah, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad.
And according to this calculation, you're paying the equivalent of $4.61 American per gallon of gasoline.
That's
PVP.
American, so converted into Canadian dollars, and
No, he's saying that's
No, I'm
converted.
converting it. That is converted
Yeah,
into American money.
mhm.
The price you're paying is equivalent to paying $4.61 American.
Okay,
right.
but since our
Which
dollar is
is
lower,
It doesn't matter. I've already done the conversion for Canadian money.
That's
to
just
American
under
money.
California, because California is averaging just over $5.
oh, is it really?
Right.
We're
I think
about there,
Germ's
too.
talking about. I think Germ's talking about if you converted the liters to how many gallons, and then you convert the price over it, then you guys are paying about $4.60 something on average, compared to
Okay,
what we're paying. Is
right.
that right, Germ?
Right.
Okay.
And hey, LDG, welcome.
Hey, Pickles, how's it going?
Hi,
Oh well,
LDG.
good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're enjoying time with your family. Happy Turkey Day, I guess. In fact, they're having the Mystery Science Theater 3000 marathon, and I'm not watching it. I usually watch that every year.
I haven't watched that at all.
I watched it since it was on the air, and whenever they have all the reprisals, I guess you could say. And then I watched it I try every Thanksgiving to watch it. They have it live on, I think it's Shout Factory. Joel's back, and they're trying to raise money for a 14th season.
So what marathon is this?
Mystery Science Theater 3000 Turkey Day Marathon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think we get that up here.
It's online.
I wonder if Shout Factory is available in Canada though, because quite often a lot of these websites will block Canadians.
It's also streamed via YouTube, so you'll be able to get it.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I was watching it earlier, and it was on YouTube.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I like that kind of stuff. That's my, I don't know.
I haven't watched the Mystery Science Theater 3000 at all, so.
Ooh, well, that's something you can always get caught up on if you ever want to.
They're really bad movies with relatively funny commentary.
Yes, I agree.
You're not missing a whole lot.
Basically, it's
fair,
it's a very good. Go ahead. In fact, here's Elite PvP if you want to
the
check it
later
out
ones
later.
are very
okay.
bad. They lost what's his name? I forget the names
That's
of those
I
guys.
have to agree with. Right, that I have to agree with. The hosts are not as good as the original. I mean, because Joel was great, and then we had Mike, and they replaced Crow and Robot with different actors or whatever over the years. I have to admit, yes, the people they have are definitely not as funny as the originals. Because now what they're doing is they're woke now. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, and the writers are probably like in the early 20s, so they don't have nearly the cinematic experience to tell all the jokes that the old cast used to. The old cast had a lot of experience, and that was a lot of their jokes was referring to older movies and older TV shows. This cast doesn't have a fraction of that experience, so it's not as funny. I have to admit that. But I recommend classic MST3K with Joel and Mike.
Yeah, it sounds like if you don't have writers that are older than their 20s that have seen all this stuff years ago and have the knowledge of it, it's kind of pointless, right? Because their jokes are
Right,
probably not going to be very funny.
right. PPP, have you ever seen MST3K?
Uh, I don't think I ever have actually. If I did, it's so long ago I can't really remember it. But I
Okay.
know
Well,
what it
then you
is.
haven't.
It's
You would
like
have
Germ
remembered.
said. It's bad movies with satirical commentary, basically.
Right, and you see that as you're watching the movie, you can see the three heads of the people doing the commentary on the bottom of the screen.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
they're watching the movie as they're mocking it.
Okay, I probably have not seen those then. But
For
yeah,
shame.
I just took a look on YouTube and the hosts look pretty goofy actually. That
Well,
were
at
on
one
there.
point, they even had Patton Oswalt, unfortunately, but
Oh,
fortunately,
jeez.
that wasn't very long.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate when they have a good formula and they change it and it goes down the drain.
Yeah, last season was this guy named Jonah something, and he wasn't funny.
Hmm.
So if they come back this season, I'm hoping they'll have somebody else.
Hmm.
A lot of the writers from the original show went on to write for television. Like I remember a couple of them were working on that horrible. What was that? A horror show I hated. America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah, some of them went to work on that one. It's
Oh,
like, ugh, I
jeez.
hated that show. My God, I couldn't stomach that show. And I really, really hated the host.
It's hard to believe they actually even had writers for dialogue as bad as that show. I saw a few
Yeah, because
episodes of
well,
that, and it's like,
yeah,
what?
because right, because the host was extremely unfunny. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
surprised that it was actually written by professional comedy writers. That blows my mind because, I mean, he got on my nerves. I hated him so much.
and the thing is, the videos they showed that were supposed to be funny usually weren't. A lot of
No,
the
no.
times they
In
were
fact,
just,
that was right. The point was it was called America's Funniest Home Videos. They would show some that were genuinely hilarious, but guess who would win every single time? It was always the awe videos. Oh, that baby looks so cute, doesn't it? Oh, look at the
oh
baby with
god.
food on his
Yeah, I
face.
guess some of them
Oh,
were
look at the
funny, but
baby in the mud puddle. Those are the ones that won every single time, and that's why I hated the show.
yeah, there were a lot of
They
pretty
should have called it
mediocre videos
America's
too.
Cutest Home Videos or whatever.
Yeah, no, I
Every
didn't
now and
watch
then they
that.
would show a genuinely funny one.
Yeah, I
The
probably
funny
watched it
ones
maybe.
never won.
I might have
Go
watched it
ahead,
3 or 4
sorry.
times, but I never could get into it. Yeah.
The funny videos never, ever, ever won. Ever. That's why I don't know why they call it America's Funniest Home Videos. They always pick the cute ones. And then to make it worse, it would be like, oh, look how cute the baby is with chocolate cake on its face. You win #1 prize. And we have the mom and dad and the baby right here in the audience.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
you could tell it's kind of pre-rigged right before they even, filmed the damn show.
Yes.
Basically, like, yeah.
Because they were appeal. I didn't, it's we all know why. Because the
Oh,
show was appeasing to a family audience. I mean, it's like, okay, I can be straight and be transparent. Change the name of the fucking show to America's Cutest Home Videos. It's not funniest.
yeah.
That's
And
what
the thing
pissed me
is,
off.
they fly the parents and the baby in before the show's even filmed. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
this isn't rigged at all. It's like, there's why even vote? Like, there's no point because they already
I
know which one's
know.
won. You know.
Right. And they never let the audience vote. Why don't they have it why did they have it always said back then? Why did they have a toll free number where the audience could vote? And it'd be a live vote on air, huh?
Or even just have buttons on the seats or if there's a studio audience and let them vote.
That's what they did. The studio
Yeah.
audience.
I think that's what they did,
Uh,
but they influenced what they voted. Because, like I said, they always voted
Yeah.
for the videos that included the children, the little kids, the babies. Those are the ones that always
Oh,
won.
So they had a
They
sappy
were a
audience.
little early for a live call-in vote because they had to film months in advance. For most
Right,
of
that
those.
was the problem. Right, the episode was they were not filmed live; they were filmed in advance, unfortunately, which means they were rigged and edited heavily.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
But
live
Trent-
version was just unsustainable at the time.
I hated the videos. Every time the cute ones would come on, I would go with my good friend Sean, go over his house. They watched it every week, and I would, as soon as they showed the baby video, whatever, the baby with the cake on its face or the baby that falls down, I'd say that's the one that's gonna win. That's the one that's gonna win. I was right every fucking time. And they were funny. They were like, "Oh," you hear the audience, "Oh," and every time you hear "Oh," you know that's the one that's gonna fucking win.
Oh yeah.
And that show was on forever, unfortunately, decades it seemed.
Well, yeah. It seems like sometimes the crappiest shows are the ones that last the longest, right?
Well, yeah, and what made it worse is the host was not funny. And what network television does, I don't know about in Canada, but in the US, what they've done for a long time, if they have one show that's relatively successful, they'll take that host and then put them on all their shows. So around that time, we were getting Tom Bergeron on every fucking thing, and he sucked ass. And then we were getting the guy that. Now that's why I remember his name, because he sucked ass so bad, but he was on everything. Even the remake of Hollywood
Saget.
Squares, he sucked. Saget, that's him. And then he started
Saget.
popping up on
That
everything.
Oh god.
Saget, his stuff on America's Funniest Home Videos and the Full House,
Ugh.
he did that for cash. His comedy is completely 180 from any of that. There's a reason his nickname was Saget the Faggot. He was the dirtiest comic in America at the time he was doing those shows. He was this big family-friendly guy on TV. If you saw his stand-up, it was almost X-rated.
But was it funny?
I haven't seen it in has to be more than 15 years.
I could probably
It was
look
pretty
it up.
funny at the time.
Yeah, I could probably. It's probably somewhere on YouTube or something. But
It probably would have been better than his TV work, yeah, by the sounds of it.
But he did do. I have to give him credit. He did one thing that I liked, and that was the one episode of Quantum Leap that he was in. I like that.
Oh.
He played a failing comic, but he didn't tell jokes, so that's why it was good.
Oh, okay.
And he directed the movie Dirty Work, which was actually pretty good with Norm Macdonald. That's right. I had to remember that for a moment.
So the guy had some talent. He just chose to put it aside.
Yeah, so maybe Jeremy. Yeah, maybe Jeremy is right.
He chose to make money.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right, Jeremy. Maybe you get him away from that America's Shittiest Videos, and you get him away from that Full House. Maybe it was funny. I don't know. Oh, Full House! Oh my God.
Yeah, some of those.
That was a dark time sitcom history during that whole period there. That's when we were getting all those horrible shows.
What decade was Full House? Trying to remember.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, I remember a lot of the 80s comedies were god awful. Like really.
Yeah, it was dominated by shit like Family Ties and Cosby Show. I hated that era.
Yeah, all that junk.
The only relief that whole time was Married with Children. That was the only good, funny show that was on the air around that time.
Well, at least that one had a bit of an edge to it, right?
Right, that's exactly it. It wasn't watered down, filtered, and committee written. That was the problem. It was around the 80s when they started being written by committee, and they started being worried about politically correct and everything. That's why even still to this day, the best sitcoms of the 70s where they were daring, like Fred Sanford, like All in the Family and the Sanford stuff. They were hilarious because they took chances. They didn't care who they offended.
Yeah, wasn't Night Court 70s, I think? 75? 80s?
Night Court was 80s, wasn't it?
Oh, that'd be a standout then, because I like Night Court.
It was.
That was funny.
I
like Dan.
80s.
Dan Fielding was hilarious. He was such a wolf on the make every episode, pretty much. That was great.
I remember Cheers. I didn't like it first, but it finally wore on me, and I eventually liked it.
Actually, I like Cheers. Yeah, it was a little repetitious at times, but it was pretty entertaining.
But I know the whole period with like the Cosby Show and Family Ties and all that. Oh my God, Small Wonder.
Cutesy stuff. Yeah, I couldn't stand that.
Yes, Mr. Belvedere. Oh my God, that was a horrible time.
Yeah. Well, see, I guess TV has had its bad moments before.
Look at TV now. It's even worse than then when you think about it. TV's even worse now. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
that's even possible.
yeah. I don't watch TV much anymore. Well, I never watch TV. Actually, come to think of it, not the current stuff anyway.
And another difference too is the good shows that I mentioned, like All in the Family and San Francisco and all that, filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Right.
And then when they start coming out with the shit like Cosby and all that, they went right back to canned laughter again because the shit wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Cosby was like #1 for several years. I've never figured it out.
Yeah, I didn't either.
They still have laugh tracks in TV shows.
Oh hell yes, Friends. Oh my god,
Exclusively. They do not film in live studio audiences anymore, and they haven't since the early 2000s.
The only thing I know that's still filmed live is like Saturday Night Live, and you can tell because nobody's laughing.
Oh, Saturday Night Live. I haven't been able to watch that show. I think the last
No.
decent stuff was maybe back in the early '90s, maybe when you had like Chris Farley and some of that cast on.
Well, for me, the last time they had anything good was when they had John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and all them on there. So it's been even longer, for my opinion.
Oh yeah, the '70s stuff was the best, but I didn't mind some of the later. Well, not later, but maybe '80s. What was the guy that his wife shot him?
Yeah, he was on The Simpsons. I know you're talking about. I don't remember his name, but he played
actually
Troy McClure on The Simpsons. Yes.
Yeah, he was pretty talented. He was pretty funny in a lot of the sketches back then.
Well, I saw him in Jingle All the Way, I guess. He was kind of the jerk on Jingle All the Way, that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
He was pretty versatile, though. I thought, like, he could play different kinds of characters. So I liked him.
I don't know.
Chris Farley was good. Chris Farley was pretty hilarious in some of those.
Well, people laugh at him because he was burning himself out, like a candle on both ends. What he was doing. When I saw him, I was over at my stepbrother's house, and he watched Saturday Night Live faithfully, everything. And then when I saw Chris Farley, my stepbrother was laughing, and I said, he's going to die. And he's like, what? I said, he's going to die. He's going to die at an early age. No, he's not. I said, yes, he is. I said, just watch. And lo and behold.
The thing was, he had such a level of intensity in his performances, whether he was the guy that lived down by the river or the, excuse me. I remember the Chippendales dance routine.
Well, I don't know the skits, but what it was.
Well, they're the same routine, basically.
I don't remember what skits or what I don't remember what character he was playing, but what I'm talking about is what he was doing physically. I could tell he was killing himself.
Oh well, he was so vastly overweight too.
Right, the overweight. You could tell he was high from cocaine, and you just knew he was burning himself out. And you knew the way he moved around that his body couldn't sustain it.
I wasn't surprised when he died. That's for sure.
Hell no. And by the way, there's pictures of his body on his bed.
Oh, lovely. Well, I really don't want to see that.
I know, but I had to mention it.
But I mean, Saturday Night Live has been total crap for what, 30 years now or something. Like, it's just been horrible.
I remember that was over at my stepbrother's, and they were doing I think it was a Christmas skit on Saturday Night Live. Like I said, I hated the show, and when I went to my stepbrother's, I hated him watching it. I wanted to leave. But what really got on my nerves is he was watching a skit and it had one of the Baldwins on it. I don't remember because I got him confused. And they were talking about sweaty balls, and they kept going on and on and on. And I got so mad at my stepbrother. I said, if you don't take this motherfucking shit off, I'm not coming back. This is the last time I'm going to come over to your fucking house. I mean, I got angry. That was so, not only was it unfunny, but it was so bad. And the skit went on and on and on and on, and they keep repeating the same joke. And I told my stepbrother, I said, you can watch this shit when I'm not here. But I said, I'm not going to sit here because he would ask me to come over and visit. And I said, I'm leaving. And I don't come over here to watch this fucking shit. I mean, and you might laugh at shitty potty humor, but I don't. Oh, I hated that. And all I remember is it had a Baldwin in it. I remember the punchline because they kept saying it over and over and over and over and over and over again. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, let's maybe not talk about Saturday Night Live. Might be a good plan.
I've never watched it, so I can't even comment on it.
You're missing nothing. They've had the same producer and the same writers since the 1970s, Gorilla.
Yeah,
and they ran out of ideas in the and they ran out of ideas in the 1970s. So yeah, that'll tell you.
Yeah, it definitely was best when they had Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and Gilda Radner and all the vintage cast from the early days. Yeah, definitely.
Except for Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase was annoying.
I could take him early. Sometimes I found him entertaining. Sometimes I found him annoying.
I
I think
thought
the
he was
only
like okay, but he got pulled off early because he hit really big with Animal House. I mean, I
like,
mean, a vacation, and all that. So he wasn't on there very long. The one
yeah,
that I didn't like, out of the original cast, one that I thought was not funny was Bill Murray.
really. I thought Murray was
Yeah,
okay.
especially his routine as a stand-up singer. Do you remember that, like a lounge singer?
Oh, the
Oh, I
lounge
hated
singer.
that. I hated it. My God, I hated that. Oh, hell.
Well, he did kind of nail how bad lounge singers are, though. I think that was the whole point of the sketch,
I don't know. But yeah,
perhaps.
but the thing is if you're going to show a character that's annoying, make it funny instead of just being
Uh,
annoying. That was the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Not Bill Murray's another one of those. I mean, hit or miss. Like he's done some. You know, I like Groundhog Day, for instance. I thought he was good in that, but a lot of the time I really don't care. About his stuff very much. And it's like Chevy Chase. I mean, I really like the Chevy Chase vacation films. They're pretty entertaining, especially the Christmas one. I really like the Christmas one with cousin Eddie, the redneck who shows up halfway through the movie. I thought that was pretty funny stuff.
I like the vacation movies. And Caddyshack, I liked it for Rodney
Caddyshack,
Dangerfield.
that's a good one. And Rodney Dangerfield was brilliant in that. Yeah.
Right, but the rest of them I didn't find very funny. I didn't find Bill Murray funny. I didn't find Chevy Chase funny. I really don't like Bill Murray's brother. But I watched it for Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, Caddyshack's pretty solid,
For
entertaining
me,
enough.
I would do a fan edit where it just shows the Rodney Dangerfield scenes. I would cut the rest of the movie out. Sorry, I know that's not a popular opinion.
Oh well,
You,
everybody
you
has
know,
different tastes.
that was his first movie, right?
Rodney first, yeah, I guess it probably was, wasn't it? Because then he went on and did a string of comedies after that, didn't he?
Right, which were all
I
funny.
remember like Back to
Easy Money
School.
was the first one.
Back to School.
Yeah, but Easy
Back to
Money and then
School
Back
was
to
pretty good.
School. Yep,
And then he did.
had the guy
Well,
from
he
Christine
he did
playing his
another one
son.
after that. I think I can't remember the name because I don't think it
Well, he
was
made
quite
a
as
one
funny.
that wasn't very good called The Ladybugs, where he was like a coach of some kind of soccer or sports team of some sort.
Okay, I missed that one. But there was another one. Oh, geez, I wish I could remember the name, but I just can't.
Hey
Easy
guys,
Money was good. That was his first.
yeah, I'll
Go
be
ahead,
back
Gorilla.
here. I'll be back here in a minute. I gotta go do something.
Okay.
Right.
But I don't know if you know about the behind the scenes with Caddyshack. That was his first movie, and he had never filmed in front of a camera before. He
Okay.
was used to a live. He was used to a live audience. So I was listening to interviews or watching interviews from the rest of the cast. They were talking about the making of Caddyshack, behind the scenes. Every night they'd go to their hotel, and it was a big party, obviously because everybody was on drugs and everybody was getting high, and they were all partying every single night in between shooting of the movie. And Rodney Dangerfield would go down around from person to person, practicing his routine, saying, "Am I funny? Am I funny?" And he was practicing his routine on them, and that's what they were all talking about. And then when it got to the point where Rodney Dangerfield actually had to shoot his scenes, like inside the golf store where you buy golf clothing and stuff like that, that was his first scene that he shot. And he was standing off camera, and then the director Ivan Reitman said, "Action." And Rodney Dangerfield just stood there, and he said, "Action." And he said it like 3 or 4 times, and nothing happened. And then he went over to Rodney Dangerfield. He said, "Are you ready?" He said, "Yeah, I'm ready. I'm waiting. What do you want me to do?" He goes, "Well, I keep saying action, but you're not doing anything." And he goes, "Oh, you want me to do my stuff? You can't do your stuff. Do your thing." And he said, "Okay." He went back to the camera, and he said, "Okay, ready, action." And then nothing happened. And Rodney Dangerfield stood there. And he went back to Rodney Dangerfield and goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, you want me to do my skit?" He goes, "Yeah. Come on, Jay." He goes, "Do your thing." So the director realized He stopped saying action. Whenever it was Rodney Dangerfield's turn, he would say, "Okay, Rodney, do your thing."
You had to just sort of work with the old comedy warhorse and kind of
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
figure him out. That's a great story, Pop. I never knew
Right,
that.
and then Rodney Dangerfield would come out and ad lib a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't in the script. Unfortunately, they had to cut a lot of that out.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, yeah. Still, I mean, every scene he was in, like he pretty much nailed it perfectly, right? Like,
Well, I gave my opinion. He makes the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they're okay. They're filler. But I
yeah,
think Rodney Dangerfield is what really sells that movie, in my opinion.
he's the
Yeah.
centerpiece for sure.
A
Yeah.
lot of his lines weren't exactly delivered the way it is written down for him.
Well, no, right, but he did do a lot of improvising, and a lot of it could not be done in a. He wasn't dirty, but there were some things that they couldn't put in
Yeah.
there. Remember, he was one of the comedians. He wouldn't use swear words and raunchy shit like that. Thank goodness. To this day, my favorite comedians were male was Rodney Dangerfield, female Phyllis Diller, and I think they can never be replaced. But I'm old. I definitely do not like modern day comedians where every other word is the N word or the F word or the B word or drugs. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
any
guess-
comedian out that can do a shtick without having to use swear words or dig into raunchy potty humor. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I was never a big fan of Richard Pryor's stuff. I never got
Same here.
into
Richard
that.
Pryor, yeah. And Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, I loathed them.
Yeah, I never got
Because it was
that.
always racist bullshit. It was always, the black people and the cops, the white cops, they'd be coming and doing. It was all that shit. And I hated it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I guess I kind of prefer my comedy a little more old school.
Yep.
I think the only, well, not recent, but the one in say the last 3 or 4 decades was remember Stephen Wright. He would come out with the most surreal, weird comedy lines, like the weirdest little stories, and
I don't
somehow
know
they.
the name.
He
All right,
was
John Pinette. Do you remember John Pinette?
Geez, if I saw him, I might.
Big fat guy. And he did the Chinese jokes where he said, "You be here for an hour, you scare my wife."
No, I didn't see him. I don't remember that.
Oh, he was funny.
Hmm.
He's another one. I think he died early. Louis Anderson was kind of funny.
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, yeah.
And I like,
I-
as far as, and I do like, and for people out there, it's not that I don't like black comedians. My favorite one was George Wallace, and he's still around. And he was hilarious, but never raunchy or
Right.
dirty or racist.
I kind of like Flip Wilson on his old Flip Wilson show in the '60s.
Oh, he was good. Yeah, I
He was
forgot.
kind of
Flip
fun.
Wilson.
I love
He
when
died at an early age.
when he do Geraldine.
Yes.
When he did Geraldine, I just laughed my ass off.
Yeah, he died at an early age. I hadn't thought about him in a
Really?
while, but I used to
Oh,
watch
shit.
his show. And when his show was on the air, it was popular, and he was guest
yeah.
starring on. Yeah, he was guest starring on every show at the time. I remember he was even on the $6 Million Man.
Really? Well, that I didn't know. I think
Yeah,
we got
every
him
show
on
that was
Friday
on at the
night.
time on that network.
Yeah, I think Flip
Sorry, go
Wilson
ahead.
show was on Fridays here, Friday nights, like at 8 o'clock or something.
Possible. I don't remember what night.
I was just a kid, and I totally got his humor, right? You know.
What's interesting is I was in elementary school at the time, and I still remember this. I had a really bad stuttering problem. My dad
really?
stuttered. My dad stuttered his whole life. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
And I was around him enough when I was young where it rubbed off on me, and I was stuttering. And the
Uh,
school was not doing anything about it. And now they have speech therapists and whatever. And I
Right.
think that's a racket because Flip Wilson actually helped me cured me of stuttering. Can you believe that?
well,
Because of one skit on his show. One
Really?
skit. Yes.
tell me more.
Okay. I don't know if it's kind of like a nursery rhyme, but he says there's a hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a rock in the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's I can't remember my verse now. It's been so many years. There's a frog on the rock in the hole in the bottom of the
Oh,
sea. There's
okay,
a
I
wart
get
on the
it.
frog, on the rock, on the log, and the hole in the bottom. Anyway, and then when he gets to the end, it's like there's a livestock on the tick on the fly on the hair on the wart on the frog and the knot on the log and the hole in the bottom of the sea. I remember the end of it.
Wow, that's cool.
And I remember
So
I
you
liked
just-
it.
just kept adding one additional line each time he went around, kind of thing.
Right, and the pace was very fast. There's a hole in the bottom of the
Ah.
sea. There's a light on the hair on the tick on the frog, and the hole in the log, and the hole in the bottom of the sea. He did that. It was one skit, and I
Wow.
never forget it. And I remember for like a day or two, I just kept going over it, and then it completely cured me of stuttering. And
That's
I haven't done
amazing.
it since.
Wow, that's cool.
When I was a
Gosh.
teacher, when I was a teacher, I had a student, Elijah, really smart, bad stuttering issue, bad stuttering. And I told him about that, and I wrote it down for him because the speech therapy wasn't working. They would get, the cue cards and bullshit like that. And I told him, I said, you need to start doing tongue twisters like Sally sells seashells on the seashore and all that. So him and I would sit down and I'd start going over all that stuff. And I cured him of his stuttering in like a week.
That's great. Wow. You're a good teacher, Pop. I wish I
Well,
had teachers that
I'm
were
not a
that
speech
helpful.
therapist. I'm not a speech therapist, but I know when something works, right?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes something that's relatively simple can work better than all the complicated, shit they try and throw at people, right?
Yeah. And it's like the opposite effect. Because a tongue twister, I mean, if you got somebody who has trouble stuttering, you think a tongue twister would be insurmountable. Like the opposite of what you should be teaching them. But that's actually the thing to do is have them basically have them memorize something. Because when they're stuttering,
Right.
it's off the top of their head. So basically, you have them memorize something. So that way they have all the words ahead of time. They can form all the words in their mouth. And tongue twisters work best because you're complicating it. So I give them a quiz or a test.
Hmm.
But like I said, it worked for me. Just that one skit, I only saw it once, and I still remember it. And it cured because it cured me of stuttering.
Yeah, it's amazing how you remember it all so well. Like that's pretty impressive, actually. That your memory, you got a good memory.
One
Like
skit, right? One skit from the Flip Wilson show
that is amazing.
about the hole in the bottom of the sea, right?
That is so
I'm sure I
cool.
could probably look it up. It might be on YouTube. I hadn't thought about
Yeah, it
that.
might be on YouTube actually. You never know. But I wouldn't be surprised. Seems like everything's on YouTube these days.
But I always wondered why he did that. I wish I would have. I don't know if he was stuttered as a kid, and he got over it maybe, and that was one of the ways. I was always wondering why he did, because it wasn't a song. There was no music.
Yeah.
He just sat there on a stool and just quoted it. So I always wondered that. I wonder what made him do that.
Doesn't really seem like a comedy routine either, really.
Nope. No, exactly. It wasn't comedy. It wasn't singing. It wasn't dancing. It was just a stool with a black background, and he stood there. There's a hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a rock on the hole in the bottom of the sea. There's a frog on the rock on the hole in the bottom of the sea. And he started, and I was like, wow, it's interesting.
That's amazing.
Now you got, and this is before videotape. I had no way of recording it.
Oh,
so I had to remember it from watching it that one time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's
it's like an adaptation of an old etiquette lesson.
I think so, yeah, because it definitely seemed instructional.
Yeah, it's a Victorian era speech etiquette.
Definitely worked for me.
Hmm.
After that, I could say anything. I mean, I had tongue twisters. I could do anything like that, so it was cool. But I think basically what it comes down to is because you memorize what you're saying, and then speed it up faster. Start out slow. That's what I did. I started out slow. There's a lice on the tick. I did it really slow. Memorize it first, pronounce out and enunciate each word, and then just faster. And then pretty soon it breaks you of it. And then I would see my dad. He was a deadbeat dad. You'd see him every now and then, and he'd be like, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was lucky. I never stuttered as a kid, so I never.
Yeah, he would stand there with his mouth open, standing with his mouth wide open. I'm thinking, what a fool!
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'm sure you've seen it before, right? People that stutter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, well, what was that country and western guy? Mel Tillis. He stuttered horribly, but then when he started singing, he was fine, right?
Exactly. When he's saying it sounded like a completely different person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of quite unusual. Like I don't think I ever saw anybody that stuttered so badly and yet sang so perfectly. It was like, wow.
Yeah, don't you think it's probably because he had everything memorized, right?
It could be. I guess it could be. Maybe it was just like, getting more of a melody, a melodic phrasing going.
Maybe the song. because he did act a couple times. I think he was in the second, not the first, but I think he was in the second Cannonball Run, and he was one of the race car drivers, and he did stutter in that movie. And I figured, well, he memorized his lines for that, but he doesn't. And not only that, though, but I thought he sounded like he was singing through his nose when he did sing. kind of like Jim Neighbor. Remember how he sounded different when he sang?
Well, I haven't heard Mel Tillis sing in probably 30 or 40 years. So
I just remember that he sounded like he was singing through his nose. I always remember he sounded like Jim Neighbors because they sounded totally different when they sang than when they spoke. The guy who did Gomer Pyle. You saw him sing, right?
I'm trying to. I can't remember what he sounded like either now.
He tried to do like opera type stuff, The Impossible Dream, and all that kind of shit.
Oh, I think I remember now that you mentioned The Impossible Dream. Yeah,
that was his big one. Yeah,
kind of like pseudo opera kind of stuff or something.
Yes, he ended up moving to Hawaii, bought a big old bunch of land. He actually ended up very rich, not only from the show, but he bought a bunch of land, had his own winery, and fruits and vegetables, and he performed there pretty often. I guess he was popular on the show circuit in Hawaii. Probably a bunch of old people, I'm guessing.
Sounds like he had a pretty good life, actually, then.
He did. Most sitcom people today, they didn't. Obviously, because of no residuals. But he practically owned the show. When he signed on, they gave him part ownership. So he actually get a lot. He got a lot more from the show than most people did back in the 60s.
So
like Don Adams, from Get Smart, another one.
Get Smart.
He was smart enough to demand part ownership of the show, so he was able to get residuals. So he was another one that made money.
And I guess the network would be paying the production company some money too, right? So
yeah, depending on the contract.
Is Gorilla back?
Sorry about all that shit there. Go ahead, Gorilla.
Oh, maybe he's gone again.
You okay, Gorilla?
Oh, no, I do got someone coming over today.
Oh, yeah.
Say hi to everybody. Oh, she's not gonna say hi. Yeah, my sister.
She's being shy.
Oh,
yeah. Cool. Tell her we said happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up here.
I'm gonna go wash dishes.
Plugging yourself.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. Well, let's start with the chat. Thank you, LDG, for coming. If you need a place to hang out, there's always the underground there. Thank you, Nemesis of Eden, for coming. He tends to do a lot of live streams and upstreams coming. Thank you, Scurvy, also known as Lemon Pie, for coming. And thank you, Captain Fandom Nerd, for coming. He does his morning brews every once in a while. I don't know when the next one will be. And thank you, Jim's Landscaping, for coming. He does a lot of Star Trek fan films and does some morning brews also. All right, let's start with PvP. You want to play yourself?
Well, just still doing my music stuff on my channel. Got some playlists, a lot of complete albums listed, and try and add something, at least maybe once every week or two. But that's pretty much it, I guess. Nothing much new to report, really. So,
okay. Pop, what you got going on?
Me, I may do a stream tonight. I don't know if anybody's going to be doing anything for Thanksgiving, but I'll probably be bored.
What time are you thinking?
6 or 7 p.m. Pacific time, if I can get these dishes and stuff out of the way.
Okay, I might very well join in then, because I'm thinking I need to do laundry later myself, so hopefully I'll get it done before that.
And I'll drop it. I have to make it a point. I'll drop a link for the Lost in Space pilot in the streaming group, so that you, in case you guys didn't get it from here, and so Gorilla, you can see it. She was already able to obtain the episode. She downloaded it, so she's already got it. And I have it. I downloaded it. So, but I'll put the link in the StreamYards tab, the group tab, or whatever the hell it's called, and then I will post the link for the Dracula movie, the Horror of Dracula. I'll post a link for that today, sometime in the afternoon or evening, in the my community tab for everybody, for all the subs. And then Monday, Lost in Space, we're going to cover the pilot. I'm sorry, Saturday, Rumblings from the Lab, hopefully. Monday, Lost in Space. Tuesday, Horror of Dracula. And maybe, hopefully, we'll get back to Gilligan's Island on Wednesday. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead, guys.
All right, that sounds good. Jerm, what you got going on?
Saturday, we'll have Don Bluth movie, go to the community tab and vote for either The Secret of Nymph, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and I do not recall what the third one was at the moment, but they're all, last time I checked, they're all tied.
I like Don
So go
Bluth.
break the tie.
Cool.
All
And
righty.
Ralph
As for
Bakshi.
me,
I like those two.
all right. As for me,
Yeah.
I'll have the Waltons the Triangle review tomorrow. Saturday, I'm not sure yet because of the funeral. And then on Sunday, we are watching A Christmas Story Christmas. There. Then Wednesday will be Justified. So with that, you guys have a good night, and remember to be a gorilla.